Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Chud Watch. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving yesterday if you're from the States. If not, I hope you had a good Thursday. I of Jade, thank you for resubscribing with a 7-month streak. Hope you're all having a good Friday. Normally I take Fridays off because I usually have electrolysis treatments, but because it was the day after Thanksgiving and I gotta drive an hour and a half away to get my electrolysis done, I decided to skip this week, so we're doing Chud Watch today instead of when we normally do it on Saturday. So, welcome everyone. I hope you're doing well. Cino557, thank you for following. Arcana Stamper Blackwell says, great news, everyone. My brother got out of the hospital today. He's officially home. Good. I'm glad. I don't know if you guys saw my tweet yesterday. Hold on. I'll go to my Twitter. Show you guys. So yesterday, it was Thanksgiving. I live in a city in Michigan. And... oh boy. So after I finished the stream yesterday, I start seeing like lights outside of my house, and I'm like, what the heck is that? And I go and I look at my side window, and there's just like a cop car literally next to my house. Not in a driveway, but on my yard next to my house. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So, as it turns out, someone was running from the cops. I don't know what they were, I don't know why. I don't know if they were drunk driving and because it was Thanksgiving and they like decided to run or what. But like, they literally were running from the police in their car, drove up onto my yard, abandoned their car, and ran away on foot. So their car was just sitting, still running in the middle of my yard. Anyway. So that was fun. We had like, you know, 4 cop cars, and they were searching the backyard and adjacent yards. And I don't think they found whoever was running from the cops. Assuming this is their car and it wasn't them stealing a car, then they probably know their address, because if the car is registered, then presumably they're going to be able to find them. But, like, they did find them? Oh yeah, you told me really late last night before we went to bed that they caught someone over on State Street. Like, was it them? Are you sure? Or was it still just the... Do you know more information, Baja, actually? I know you were looking into it last night. It was very interesting either way. But the car's gone. The cops had it towed away, as you might imagine. It actually didn't make a mark on my yard, surprisingly. But that was fun. That was an exciting turn of events last night, so. Unix says, pro tip when running from the cops, don't ditch your car. Yeah, that's usually a good call. I don't understand. I don't get running from the police. You're never gonna get away. Not permanently. It's not worth it. It's a good way to turn a traffic stop into a felony, although I guess I don't know why they were running in the first place. It was probably already a felony. Maybe I'm assuming too much forethought into this person, but I'd think you'd make a risk-reward analysis and decide, okay, it's not worth the extra felony charge for running from the cops. Anyway, MMO Addicted, thank you for subscribing with a 6-month streak. MMO Addicted says, how may we be certain this is you, Hannah, and not your escaped clone who framed real Hannah and now is trying to pass it off as this quaint little story? You don't know that. You don't have any of my DNA, and if you did, it would be identical, so take that. The strategy behind ditching your car is to report it stolen if you escape. That seems risky, especially considering like, the cops were chasing the person. I assume it's a guy. It could be a woman, but it's probably a guy. I think they saw him, so they have, like, a basic description. I didn't see him, but, you know. When it's time to raid tonight, Lance will be playing Among Us with AOC. Okay, cool. Chozolor says, Hannah is sus now. I'll be looking for clone clues. You do that. You'll never find the clues. It could have been a country girl. I don't think it was. But I don't know. No, it was just an interesting thing that happened. There's that picture, and then there's a second picture of the cops kind of looking around. You can see my trash bin that I haven't taken in, even though trash day is Tuesday and today's Friday. Because I'm real good. Anyway. So, let's do some Maga cope stuff. We'll start like we have been normally. I swear, guys, I know this is probably getting redundant. I apologize, but it just doesn't stop. I really thought the Maga people would stop being in denial like weeks ago. But they just keep going, and I just keep wanting to cover it, and I apologize. So let's do some more of this Maga cope stuff, and then we'll get on to some of the videos. The other stuff we're doing today is Let's see, we got this guy. He's a rapper who exclusively deals in Trump rap. We'll see his stream that he did a while ago and see how he's coping with losing his career. We have this lady who's a Trump supporter, again, also in denial. We have the Rageaholic. I forget what he goes by. The channel is the Rageaholic, but he goes by a different name. I think it's Razor Fist? Razor Fist, yeah, he goes by Razor Fist. And then I wanted to go over this. The Trump campaign lost a appeal at the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania. So I wanted to go through that because it's interesting. But first, of course, it's time for little bitty Maga copes. So let's see what we got. They've been saying victory is just a few days away for almost a month now. Jim Hoft says, we spoke with a top Trump associate tonight. This is what we were told repeatedly. Trump is going to win. It's going to be a good couple of weeks ahead. They've been saying 2 weeks for over a month. Have you guys noticed that? The Trump campaign really likes 2 weeks as a, like, descript, like, area in the future where things are going to go their way. Similar with Trump's taxes. It'll be 2 weeks away. In 2 weeks, I'll release my taxes. In 2 weeks, this thing will happen. It never happens. I think it's because 2 weeks is the perfect period of time for something like this, because it's close enough that it doesn't feel like you're stalling by saying it, but it's far enough away that 2 weeks later, people aren't necessarily thinking about it. You know what I mean? That's the perfect length of time. If you need to tell your boss you'll get something done, just be like, I'll do it in 2 weeks. It's the perfect amount of time. Let's see. This is from the Donald.win. It says, number of people who want to have a country-level electoral college. Oh my god. How would that even... How would a country-level... Do they understand that if you did a country-level electoral college, it would just be a popular vote, but then the winner of the popular vote would go and vote for the winner of the popular vote? Do they not even know what the electoral college is? Number of people who want to have a country-level national... And then they have this picture of the districts, as if this somehow... would show that they would win if there was a country-level electoral college, even though we already have a country-level electoral college. I'm so confused. I don't even understand what they want. Oh, is it county level? That would do it. County level. A county level electoral college would be the worst fucking system in the history of voting. You're basically saying... I want a minority of the population to decide the president every single election. That would be disgusting. A county-level electoral college. This is the opposite of the direction we should be going. We should be abolishing the electoral college, not making it worse. Sing you to death. Thank you for subscribing. 2-month streak. County, Hannah. County. Yeah, I got it. Sorry, I have a bad habit of doing that. There's multiple times on stream I think I've read county as country for some reason. And I just spilled water. I'm doing really well today. I'm nailing this stream, chat. That's fucked up, though. They're basically saying we want a one-party state. They're saying we can't win a democratic election by being popular, so we want to force other people to deal with our leadership even though we're not popular. That's fucked up. And then, of course, it's, you know, population density map versus this. Republicans and population density are like oil and water. They just don't understand each other. This many people think President Trump should be added to Mount Rushmore for saving our republic once again. How has Donald Trump saved our republic in any way, shape, or form? My goodness. And also, let's not continue to deface land that Native Americans found sacred and then we fucking carved leader faces into it. That's not cool. They can't stand that cities have more people. They can't stand that they're not popular is what they can't stand. Someone says, Evocative Kitsune says, oh god, it jumped, sorry, one sec. Evocative Kitsune says, I had a brain fart today. I remembered an old episode of Hannah and Jake, where one of you mentioned that the name you gave wasn't your real name. Seeing as this was pre-coming out on your channel, I just now realized that you were referring to your dead name, unless Jake isn't his real name and I'm misremembering. No, on Hannah and Jake, I used to go by Hugo, but that was never my legal name. Even that as a dead name, that was always just a nickname. I have an actual legal dead name. Like, I guess that is kind of confusing. I had a real name. Jake never called me my real name, so I went by Hugo, and then I came out as trans, and now Hannah. So I know that's kind of confusing. Someone replies to Donald Trump, what you fail to understand about Trump supporters is that we are head over heels in love with the man, love him like family. We would lay our lives down for him. We will always love him until the day we die. He kept us every promise that he ever made to us. Let's see. He said he was going to build a giant wall across the entire U.S.-Mexico border, and Mexico is going to pay for it. So far, Mexico hasn't paid a single dime of anything, and only 14 miles of new border fence have been constructed. That's not very much. Hillary isn't in prison. Let's see. He didn't make America great again. He actually made it really, really, really shitty. So, no, none of that's true. Harry K with 20 bits. Hi, Hannah. Pure winner-take-all sucks. If you have it, do it in conjunction with proportional representation, like how New Zealand and Germany do it. Proportional representation is the best form of representation. 2-round is the winner-take-all with extra steps. Looking at you, France. We have first past the post. It's bad. It's not good. Ranked choice voting would be a good choice, I think. You saw a tweet ages ago when Jake accidentally doxed you two. Okay. It happens. You remember when Hannah's dead name was from the lawsuit document? Yeah, that was public knowledge anyway. It's not a big deal. I don't care. Let's see. It's Clinton. Barack, I can explain. They re-elected you with 379 electoral votes? I only got 332. 332? I only got re-elected with 286. You guys are getting re-elected? Yeah. It's not the best meme. Not only did Trump win, he broke the algorithm. Trump defies odds for fun. Don't bet against him. Oh, no. Nope. He lost. Looks like maybe a Chris Raygun video, and then Sargon says, there's still time to get on the winning team, Chris. He already is. Here's hoping. He sees this, bro. Is Sargon going on to channels? I know he had like a weird video about Shoe on Head, where he was like, Shoe, you should not be in league with these socialist communists. Please come and be part of the right wing with me. Is he just going around to different like YouTubers who used to be more right wing, or at least they were very, very anti-SJW, and now they've started to like open up to more like leftist leaning stuff? Is he just going around to them and trying to court them back to the alt-right? Because that's pretty pathetic, to be completely honest. Let's see. The Punisher didn't like cops. In fact, he killed several of them, and the creator hates that cop, and fringe groups adopted his logo. If those kids could read, they'd be very upset. There's actually a panel in a Punisher comic where cops have a Punisher logo on their car, and they show the Punisher, and they're like, we love you! Some of us love you! And the Punisher rips it up and says, like, you are fucking shit, I'm a bad person, and you need to be better. It's pretty good. Crowder with a video. Exclusive new Michigan voter data I stumbled across. Doubt it, considering nothing's happened and Michigan has already been certified. Let's see. My gut feeling. Trump is going to win this mother effing election. And then someone says, of course he is, never a question, part of the plan. They consistently post this. There's a website, I forget the name of this website, but this is one that's been cited by Tim Pool as well. It's a website where it has voting odds, but it doesn't work the way voting odds work, you know, by most bookies or whatever. It doesn't work like Vegas odds, let's say, where it's based upon material realities and determined by, you know, whoever's setting the odds. This website in particular lets users bet, and then depending on the way users are betting, it changes the odds automatically using an algorithm. So they'll continually, sometimes Tim Pool or people on the right who are coping right now, will go to this website and see, Trump's odds are going up. The reason Trump's odds are going up on this website is because dumb Trump supporters who are delusional out of their minds are going to the website and voting on Trump winning, which automatically raises the percentage. So, just if you see this, that's where that's coming from. Catalina Gearbox, thank you for $3. I made this meme. It's safe for work. Okay. Can you post a link to it in the chat? Because if you do like a donation, then I can't. Oh wait, no, it is. It is cool. I know magic isn't real because all the cops haven't been turned into pigs. Jesus. All right, fair. Let's see. What's the next one? Oh, they blocked Coping Maga. That's pretty funny. Considering watching this from the reviews, it seems to be one of those movies where it's so bad it's good. Oh yeah, have you guys seen the trailer for Obamaland on, it's on Amazon Prime. I thought about watching it, but, ooh, we could do a watch party of Obamaland sometime. The premise of Obamaland, for those who are unaware, Obamaland is like a movie where Obama, played by someone who doesn't have a very good Obama impression, decides to become dictator, and the movie's about a group of Trump supporters saving the world from Obama, basically. It looks pretty cringe, so maybe we'll do a watch party of that at some point. That might be fun. Let's see, someone says, I'm reading Sidney Powell's much-hyped Kraken legal filing. So far, she misspells her key expert's name twice. His name is William Briggs. She calls him Williams Briggs and William Higgs. And then this person says, weasels are falling for the trap. The big typos were to lure mainstream fake news into covering the story. Their readers come to see the typos, but then gasp at the horrors within, preparing them for hashtag the storm that is about to wash over the land from sea to shining sea, hashtag Kraken. No, they just had typos in their legal filing because Sydney is fucking incompetent and probably typed it while drunk. You don't put typos in a legal filing, especially in the first two lines, intentionally. You're gonna get fucking laughed out of court. Neurotic Ninette with 1,050 bits. My first time joining livestream, but I've been watching you and Jake since when you first started doing Bible readings. Love you, Hannah. Thank you, I appreciate that. Editors aren't cheap. I guess not. Not cheap enough. But Sydney's like a lawyer. She should have money and resources to, like, get someone to take a look at her, like, legal filings. It's just strange. Let's see. This person says, I know a major liberal who booked tickets to DC in January. He wants to see Joe Biden's inauguration. I have no words. Crying, laughing emoji 4 times, and then, like, it's like a painful face? I'm not really sure. And then this person says, there are no words for an idiot like that. In the same way Hillary had the glass ceiling ball reserved and didn't show up with all the guests, they think they own us there and are full of shit. We the people got this. Okay, the difference is, that was on election night. That was the venue that Hillary Clinton had booked for her election night event, which people did go to. You know, Donald Trump also had an election night event. Every candidate, at least now, they don't because it's COVID. But, like, on a normal election year, you have an election night event with people, and then if you win, you party, and if you don't, it's very depressing. So on election night, Hillary Clinton had that place, that venue booked that had a glass ceiling playing into the, like, oh, she broke the glass ceiling idea. And then she lost the election, and she conceded as soon as that was clear, and that was how it worked. The difference here is, these people think that this is the same situation, even though Joe Biden won the election, and the states are already certifying their votes. Pennsylvania and Michigan and Georgia have already certified their vote counts, and now we're just waiting for December 14th for the electors to go and vote. It's pretty simple. I don't know what these guys think is gonna happen. You better fire up that election map soon, because you're going to have to reverse a lot of those blue states to Trump. No. Any idea why the subtitles were in...
Now, they'll do it for
Hold on, let me see what this is.
American people, because if we let them do it again, if we let them do it now, they'll do it 4 years from now. They'll do it again and again and again. We will lose our country. We will lose our democracy. But what they do not realize is that we are here and we will stand up and fight. Every single one of you. We are in this for the long haul. We are not going to roll over and allow our country to be taken
A honeybee, thank you for subscribing with a 6-month streak.
away from us. We're not going to allow our country to be stolen away from us. What they thought is they thought we didn't exist.
Dread Pirate Mick, thank you for subscribing with Prime and around a hype train.
But if you look around, you see the person next to you, and I see the people all the way back there today. Guess what, guys? We do indeed exist.
We know Trump supporters exist. You guys just lost the election. Isn't it ironic, and it's intentional, by the way, projection is a strategy within the, like, Republican base. They're saying, like, they're gonna steal our democracy, literally while advocating for stealing democracy and destroying the foundational principles of our government. Biden won the election. Fairly. They've done recounts. They've done audits. It's been to court. Joe Biden won the election legitimately. And now Republicans, while claiming that the election and democracy is being stolen, are trying to destroy democracy and steal the election. It's very frustrating. It's frustrating talking to a wall that's also hypocritical. That's what it's like talking to Republicans nowadays. Chasabel with 100 bits. Leftover Ham Hype Train. Ooh, ham. I like ham. Koya Tree with 100 bits. Thank you. Draken with 100 bits. Copium Hype Train. Skywise 8 with 100 bits. Scam Train Go Burr. Enreath with 100 bits. Thank you. And then Miss K's with 100 bits. Leftovers Train. I wish I had ham. Ham is delicious. Let's see what this one says. President-elect Julia. This year, my birthday falls on Thanksgiving Day. I'm thankful that @Real Donald Trump is POTUS45. My only wish is that he'll be POTUS46. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. This is the hardest I've wished for a birthday present since I got my new bike at age 13. And then it's an image that says, vote Donald Trump 2020. Promises made, promises kept. The best is yet to come. Slowdog52 with 100 bits. Chew, and let me be perfectly clear. Chew. Draken with 100 bits. Ham is disgusting and I'm willing to die on this hill. That's a terrible hill to die on. Ham is delicious. Okay, so Donald Trump, if he were to win re-election, doesn't become the 46th president, right? He's just the 45th president that has 2 terms. That's not how it works. Although, it's possible, I guess, she's talking about running in 2024, but it doesn't say vote Donald Trump 2024. It says vote Donald Trump 2020. So, this person doesn't even understand how the president numbering works. Sing You to Death with 100 bits. Hannah, more like Hamma, am I right? Oh, that would have been a better name. I should have gone with that. Hamma, because I like ham.
That's right,
Mitchell Drummer with 130 bits. Thank you. That would make him the 47th. It would, you're right. So no, she just doesn't understand how... She just doesn't understand how president numbering works. Gunder Chump, thank you for following. The Kraken is unleashed. Many are packing their bags to get out of the United States before they go to prison. Sidney Powell is the most amazing woman ever. She is saving America. Wait, why is she in the mouth of the Kraken? It looks like she's being eaten by the Kraken. Or is she supposed to be like Trojan horsing from a Kraken? She's like, you thought it was a Kraken, but it's just me with guns, which is the opposite of a Trojan horse. Because the Trojan horse, it's supposed to be more threatening inside. The outside's like a gift that, like, it's innocuous and cool, and then the inside, it's full of people who are going to murder you. Logarth with 20 bits, it's devouring her. Haha. It looks like it. MMO addicted with 20 bits. But what ham are we talking about? Prosciutto? De Parma? Schwarzwald? I don't know kinds of ham. I just see ham and I put it in my mouth.
There's nothing funny about
Cherry Tree Boy with 20 bits. I made some delicious corn chowder soup that makes me feel like I'm a peasant boy in a village who used his monthly allowance of 2 shillings to buy a meal down at the local inn. Okay. Let's see. Happy Thanksgiving to all. I give thanks to Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, for another blessed day, and I also want to thank him for sending our great President Trump to stand in the gap against evildoers. Together, they will save the world. It looks like Jesus is about to do the Titanic thing with Trump, where he, like, holds his waist, and Trump is like, I'm king of the world. Either that or some, like, Brokeback Mountain sensuality is about to go down. I'm good with either. Chesabel, 20 bits. Pineapple honey-baked ham here. Let's see. Oh, God, did you see Paul Joseph Watson, who we haven't actually covered on this show, surprisingly. We should do that sometime. For dinner, made pathetic fish. What is this? I am not actually sure what the fish is supposed to be. Some sort of fish fillet, and then frozen vegetable medley that he steamed. And then he just put... a whole salmon, maybe? Okay. And then he just put a whole bunch of grated cheese over the whole thing. Now, let me be clear, okay? I like cheese. Everyone here knows I enjoy my cheese, okay? But who the fuck puts cheese on fish? Who's grating this much cheese over their salmon? I'm not saying you can never do cheese over salmon, but, like, if I were eating fish, and I don't really eat fish, usually, like, if I'm in a restaurant, I don't order fish, I don't buy fish, but I've, you know, eaten fish before, I'm not averse to it. If someone's making dinner and they make fish, I'll eat it, and I'll enjoy it. It's just never my first choice. I would never take cheese and just fucking grate it over this. It's so weird. Why would you do this? MMO addicted with 20 bits. Prosciutto tunnel. Oh, okay. It's like aged ham. Okay. I bet that room either smells really good or really bad. There's no in between. Either way, this is, yeah. Oh, and the tweet is also cringe. Cheese grated, libs owned. I'm not sure how grating cheese over your food owns the libs, but if that's the case, then I own the libs all the time. Let's see what this says. President Trump made a special call Wednesday to a committee of Pennsylvania State Senate, to put it mildly. Oh yeah, we read this one, I think, at some point. After hearing what we heard today, American citizens should not go gently, and the American people on every side should be concerned.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
The thing is, and that went on to say, for context, like, we should redo the election and everyone should vote in person. Guys, if we voted in person, Joe Biden would win again. He would probably win by more this time, specifically because everyone would be so fucking over this shit. We already voted Donald Trump out, and now you're asking us to go do it again? Fine. I'm gonna vote even fucking harder. Like, it's just absolutely nuts to me that they think that would go well for them. I'm missing some stuff. One sec. Antipodian Squid with 100 bits. Cheese owns the libs. Hannah owns the libs daily. I do. Abby, my dudes, with 100 bits. The only time fish is served with cheese is at McDonald's. Maybe Paul Joseph Watson as the palate of a 13-year-old pescatarian. And then Skywise8 with 50 bits. Ruining a meal to own the libs. Logarth with 50 bits. It probably doesn't smell at all since it's dry salt cured. Okay, that's fine. Death before decaf. Thank you for following. Oh, we're already on the bits we already saw. What a shame. So a little bit shorter on the hors d'oeuvres today for, like, Maga cope stuff, but fun nonetheless. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with these people. Trump... We're going to cover this. We'll maybe cover this next. We're going to cover the lawsuit in Pennsylvania that just got rejected by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. I don't know why these people are still holding on. Guys, you gotta... The thing about the stages of grief is, you gotta move on from denial, okay? That's step number one. You still have all the other ones to get through, because you refuse to get off denial. For your own health. Please stop living in a fantasy world. Anyway. Let's move on.
Nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Gashel Gladio with $5. Oh my lord, have you seen Kevin Sorbo's Twitter feed since Trump lost? No, I haven't. I bet it's pretty bad. Kevin Sorbo's kind of a trash bag person. Okay, so, like I mentioned earlier, the Donald Trump campaign filed lawsuits in Pennsylvania to try and get, and I'm not kidding, they want to throw out all the mail-in ballots. They want to throw out like 7 million votes or something like that. I don't remember the exact number. It's very high. This document mentions it. So, this got all the way to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. They threw it out. This is the official ruling. Let's see what it has to say. Free, fair... Oh, let me turn off the music. Sorry about that. There we go. Free, fair elections are the lifeblood of our democracy. Charges of unfairness are serious, but calling an election unfair does not make it so. Charges require specific allegations and proof. We have neither here. The Trump presidential campaign asserts that Pennsylvania's 2020 election was unfair, but as lawyer Rudolph Giuliani stressed, the campaign, quote, doesn't plead fraud. This is not a fraud case. Instead, it objects that Pennsylvania's Secretary of State and some counties restrict poll watchers and let voters fix technical defects in their mail-in ballots. It offers nothing more. Zombie Tomcat, thank you for subscribing with a 5-month streak. This case is not about whether these claims are true. Rather, the campaign appeals on a very narrow ground, whether the district court abuses its discretion in not letting the campaign amend its complaint a second time. It did not. Most of the claims in the Second Amendment complaint boil down to an issue of state law, but Pennsylvania law is willing to overlook many technical defects. It favors counting votes as long as there is no fraud. Indeed, the campaign has already litigated and lost many of those issues in state courts. The campaign tries to repackage these lawsuit claims as unconstitutional discrimination, yet its allegations are vague and conclusory. It never alleges that anyone treated the Trump campaign or Trump voters worse than it treated the Biden campaign or Biden voters, and the federal law does not require poll watchers or specify how they may observe. It also says nothing about curing technical state law errors in ballots. Each of these defects is fatal, and the proposed Second Amendment complaint does not fix them. So the district court properly denied leave to amend again. So what's being said here, Harry K5 with 20 bits, they're suddenly concerned about electronic voting now. I mean, I support paper ballots all the way, and at least machines should be vote counting only, but at least I've been consistent on it. Yeah, Republicans have no consistency. They say whatever they think is beneficial to them at the time. They don't have any, like, morals. They just have the want to win. It's disgusting. So what's being said here by the court is basically saying, the Trump lawsuits, initially when they were in the lower courts in Pennsylvania, were not about fraud. They never alleged fraud because they know that there was no fraud, and they know that they can't back up any claims of fraud in court. If you go to court and you lie, if you go to court and you say, I think there was fraud, and there's no evidence of fraud, and you're not providing any evidence of fraud, you can get in trouble for doing that. If you're a lawyer and you're saying there's fraud and there's absolutely no evidence of fraud, you might get disbarred, right? You can't just bring up frivolous lawsuits with absolutely no backing to the courts. Claire the Ag, thank you for subscribing with a 6-month streak. Thanks for the great content. Thanks for being a great viewer. So, Anyway, the court cases are saying they're not alleging fraud because they're not. Even though publicly and in the court of public opinion, Trump is like, fraud, 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 it's all fraud, there's fraud. Even Giuliani in public is claiming fraud, 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 it's all fraud. In the courtroom, they're not saying this because they recognize that they will get in trouble for lying in the court of law as opposed to the court of public opinion. So, they're not alleging fraud. What are they alleging? They're alleging that constitutionally, they were disenfranchised by not allowing watchers into the place where the votes were being counted, which isn't true in the first place, by the way. There were both Republican and Democrats in the room, but they're claiming that the distances and stuff were not adequate for their purposes. The judge here is saying that within Pennsylvania law, it's not even required that there are partisan poll watchers here to count the votes, or to watch people count the votes, rather. So all those claims fall flat on their face, right? Also in terms of curing ballots is like, let's say you do a mail-in vote and the signature on your mail-in vote doesn't match the signature on your voter registration. So they're like, oh, this is kind of fishy. They contact you and they say, hey, would you come down to the place so we can cure your ballot? Basically, they're just making sure that it was you who casted the vote. That's fine. That's something that is allowed. The Trump campaign is claiming the Mightiest Quinn. Thank you for raiding with 4 raiders. Everyone go check out the Mightiest Quinn. Do we have the Quinnity? Or is the Mightiest Quinn the only Quinn here? I guess I didn't notice. Anyway, so the Trump campaign is saying, oh, curing ballots is unconstitutional. It's not. But even so, this specific court case isn't even about the evidence as much as it's about the Trump campaign filed this lawsuit, and then they refiled it, and then they wanted to refile it again, amending it. You can amend lawsuits. The court has struck down their ability to amend this lawsuit because it's clear that they're just going to try and push this through time and time again and amend little things to try and get things to work. And the Supreme Court said, like, no, you're not even alleging anything important. You're wasting the court's time. Stop it. Going on, it says, nor does the campaign deserve an injunction to undo Pennsylvania's certification in its votes. The campaign's claim have no merit. The number of ballots it specifically challenge is far smaller than the roughly 81,000 vote margin of victory, and it never claims fraud or that any votes were cast by illegal voters. Plus, tossing out millions of mail-in ballots would be drastic and unprecedented. Disenfranchising a swath of votes disenfranchising a huge swath of the electorate and upsetting all down-ballot races, too. That remedy would be grossly disproportionate to the procedural challenges raised. So we deny the motion for an injunction pending appeal. So the Trump campaign basically said, okay, because of these procedural issues, we think that all the mail-in votes should be thrown out. This is millions of votes. The Trump campaign is saying, our people who are in the polling counting place, even though they didn't have to legally be there, they didn't get to be close enough. So you need to disenfranchise millions of Pennsylvania voters. It's the most ridiculous argument ever. You cannot just say, I didn't like how this thing was done, so you have to throw out millions of votes. You can't do that. It's not how it works. The United States, its core principles are about its democracy, right? About the will of the people being heard by those in power and being able to control, government through representation in that government. To try and subvert the will of the people in order to overturn the results of a democratic election is unfucking American. I'm not even like a nationalist, and I think that's disgusting. To say, like, oh, we don't like the results of the election, so we're going to throw out the results and just install a dictator. That's repugnant. That's fascist. That's evil. I'm very iffy on the concept of evil, right? Like, are wrongdoings ever enough to literally be considered evil by definition? I don't know. But this is fucking evil. Right? I can't define evil for you, but I know it when I see it, right? Adolf Hitler, fucking evil. Stalin, evil. North Korea, evil. Trying to overturn democracy, evil. Logarth with 20 bits. Anathema. I don't know what that means. Anathema device. Don't know what that means. Someone's gonna have to explain. Tiger White 94, 20 bits. What I find most annoying about all this is that the scum fucks like Rudy Giuliani will never suffer any repercussions for this. He'll get pardoned by Trump before it ever goes to trial, and he'll go back on Fox News. Yeah, it's gonna be bad. Anathema. 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 Have I read what citizens did to Mussolini's body after he died? Pretty hardcore stuff? No.
There's nothing funny about the tools of
Nath
capitalism.
Ama. Insert Mermaid Man evil quote here. Yeah. Pennsylvania election law. In Pennsylvania, each county runs its own elections. 25 Pennsylvania Statute 2641A, counties choose and staff polling places 2642B and D. They buy their own ballot boxes and voting booths and machines 2642C. They even count the votes and post the results 2642K. In all this, counties must follow Pennsylvania's election code and regulations, but counties can and do adopt rules and guidance for election offices and electors 2642F, and they are charged with ensuring that elections are honest, efficient, and uniformly conducted. MMO Addicted with 20 bits. Careful calling Stalin evil can get you jumped on in some lefty circles. I've been banned from 2 Reddits now for arguing with tankies. Fuck tankies. I don't care what tankies think. Antipodian squad of 50 bits. I've recently been considering the wise words of Sebastian the Crab a lot. The United States. It's a mess. When did Sebastian say that? What? I guess I haven't seen Little Mermaid recently. Poll watchers and representatives. Counties must admit qualified poll watchers to observe votes being tallied. 25 Pennsylvania Statute 2650A. Poll watchers must be registered to vote in the county where they serve. Each candidate can pick 2 poll watchers per election district. Each political party. 2687A. The poll watchers remain at the polling places while election officials count in-person ballots. Did I miss something? Tucker White 94, 20 bits says, still the bits leader, bitches. The poll watchers remain at the polling places while elected officials count in-person ballots. They can ask to check voting lists, and they get to be present when officials open and count the mail-in ballots. Likewise, candidates and political parties' representatives may be present when absentee and mail-in ballots are inspected, opened, or counted, or when provisional ballots are examined. Defining provisional ballots as those cast by voters whose voter registrations cannot be verified right away. Still, counties have some control over the poll watchers and representatives. Sorry, I was wrong. They do allow for poll watchers within the law. I think it just doesn't say the distance and specificity about where they need to be when they are there. It just says they need to be present. It doesn't say they need to be, within a certain distance. That's my bad. The election code does not tell counties how they must accommodate them. Counties need only allow them in the polling place or in the room where ballots are inspected, opened, or counted, and then there's some citations. Counties are expected to set up an enclosed space for vote counters at the polling place, and poll watchers shall remain outside the enclosed space. So the counties decide where the watchers stand and how close they get to the vote counters. Mail-in ballots. For decades, Pennsylvania let only certain people like members of the military and families vote by mail. But last year, as part of a bipartisan election reform, Pennsylvania expanded mail-in voting. Now, any Pennsylvania voter can vote by mail for any reason. To vote by mail, a Pennsylvania voter must take several steps. First, he or she must ask the state, Commonwealth, or his county for a mail-in ballot. To do that, he must submit a signed application with his name, date of birth, address, and other information. He must also provide a driver's license number, the last 4 digits of his social security number, and the like. Once the application is correct and complete, the county will approve it. Close to the election, the county will mail the voter a mail-in voting package. The package has a ballot and 2 envelopes. The smaller envelope, also called the secrecy envelope, is stamped official election ballot. The larger envelope is stamped with the County Board of Elections name and address and bears a printed voter declaration. Next, the voter fills out the ballot. He then folds the ballot, puts it in the first small secrecy envelope, and seals it. After that, he puts the secrecy envelope inside the larger envelope and seals that too. He must also, quote, fill out, date, and sign the declaration printed on the outside of the larger envelope. The declaration for November 2020 election reads thus: I hereby declare that I am qualified to vote for the below stated address at this election, that I have not already voted in this election, and I further declare that I marked my ballot in secret. I am qualified to vote in the enclosed ballot. I understand I am no longer eligible to vote at my polling place after I return my voted ballot. However, if my ballot is not received by the county, I understand I may only vote by provisional ballot at my polling place unless I surrender my ballot materials to be voided to the judge of elections at my polling place. And then there's the signature line and everything. Once the voter assembles the ballot packet, he can mail it back or deliver it in person. Not every voter can be expected to follow this process safely. Some forget one of the envelopes, others forget to sign the dotted line. Some major errors will invalidate a ballot. For instance, counties may not count mail-in ballots that lack secrecy envelopes. Pennsylvania Dem Party versus Bookvar. But the election code says nothing about what should happen if a county notices these errors before election day. Some counties stay silent and do not count the ballots. Others contact the voters and give them a chance to correct their errors. My ballot required a witness and signature. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Facts and procedural history. On appeal from the dismissal of a complaint, we take the factual allegations as true. 1. Mail-in voting. For months, Pennsylvanians went to the polls, so to speak. The first batch of mail-in ballots went to the voters in late September. As they trickled back in, election officials noticed that some voters had not followed the rules. Some ballots were not in secrecy envelopes, so the packages were lighter and thinner than complete ballot packages. Others had declarations that voters had not completed. Some counties did not notify voters about these defective ballots. Others, including the counties named in this suit, decided to reach out to these voters to let them cure their mistakes by voting provisionally on election day or by asking for replacement ballots. I got some bits I gotta read. Harry K5 with 20 bits. The real reason R's hate mass mail-ins is because their normal vote suppression methods are canceled by it. Watch them try to make mail-in voting harder in the states where they control the governorship and legislatures. Watch them also try to make it so that mail-ins are counted by midnight election day. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's so blatant. Tucker White 94, 20 bits. My mail-in ballot required me to say Beetlejuice 3 times and give the county my firstborn son. And then Logarth with 50 bits. Sorry for the confusion. I was saying that attacking a democratic election was, oh god, I'm already going to mispronounce this, was, anathema to a government that is run by the will of the people. Anathema is something detested, excommunicated, or banned from. Well, that's not a word I'm going to pick up because I can't even pronounce it. Election day. Though more than 2 million Pennsylvanians voted by mail, even more voted in person. On election day, God, what is wrong with these headphones right now? These headphones are doing a thing where it's like echoing my, it's echoing my speech back to me, but like it's, I don't know how to describe it. It's hard to describe. It's doing a very, very annoying thing that's hurting my ears. Anathema. Okay. Don't ask me to say it again, because I'm not gonna, because I clearly can't pronounce that without it being phonetically spelled out to me. Let's see. On Election Day, November 3rd, the campaign set up poll watchers at polling places around the Commonwealth. Appellate's election officials kept poll watchers and representatives away from where ballots were opened. Why is it doing this? Hold on, let me turn down my mic audio. Maybe if I talk, it'll not do... Okay, that's a little better. Appellate's election officials kept poll watchers and representatives away from where ballots were opened, counted, and tallied. In Philadelphia, for instance, poll watchers were kept 6 to 25 feet back from the officials. In comparison, other Republican-controlled counties did give the campaign's poll watchers and representatives full access. In all, nearly 7 million Pennsylvanians voted, more than a third of them by mail. As of today, former Vice President Biden leads President Trump in Pennsylvania by 81,660 votes. Wagroads 13. Anathema. Look, guys, I'm not going to get it. It's over. Pennsylvania's counties certified their election results by November 23rd certification deadline. I can't have these in my ears when I'm talking. It's doing a weird buzzing thing. The next morning, the Secretary of State, technically Secretary of the Commonwealth, certified the vote totals and the governor signed the certification of ascertainment and sent it to the U.S.
There's nothing funny about the tools
Then
of
there's
capitalism.
a link, basically. This lawsuit, almost a week after the election, the campaign, as well as 2 voters, sued 7 Pennsylvania counties and the Secretary of State, Kathy Boockvar. It alleged that they had violated the Due Process, Equal Protection, and Electors and Elections Clause of the U.S. Constitution by taking 2 basic actions. First, the counties, encouraged by Secretary Boockvar, identified defective mail-in ballots early and told voters how to fix them. Second, they kept poll watchers and representatives from watching officials count all ballots. See, that's much better. Can you tell I'm having an easier time reading without those in my ears? It was, like, echoing in, like, a really, like, buzzy way in my ear, and it was making it hard to read. Sorry. Gimpig with 100 bits. Speaking of difficult registration, due to muscular dystrophy, my hands won't open. Getting my Colorado teacher's license was monstrously complicated. Made me wish we had tracking chips. That's a shame. Fu Manchu with 50 bits. It's soft A sound. The second A is pronounced the same as an apple. Guys, stop trying to get me to pronounce this word. I'm not gonna get it, period. I'm not even gonna read your shit anymore if you're just trying to get me to pronounce this. Anathema. Anathema? Anathema. Now stop fucking chatting me trying to get me to say it. Jesus Christ. Let's see.
There's nothing funny about
So far, the
tools of
campaign's filed,
capitalism.
or tried to file, 3 complaints. The original complaint filed November 3rd set out 6 counts plus a duplicate after Boockvar and the counties moved to dismiss. On November 15th, the campaign filed a first amended complaint as of right, dropping 4 of the 6 counts plus the duplicate, including all the counts relating to poll watchers and representatives. The campaign sought a preliminary injunction to block certifying the election results. Boockvar and the counties again moved to dismiss on November 18th. The campaign sought to file a second amended complaint resurrecting 4 dropped claims from the original complaint and adding 3 more about how Philadelphia had blocked poll watching. The district court ended these volleys, denying leave to file a second amended complaint. Instead, it dismissed the first amended complaint with prejudice and denied the campaign's motion for a preliminary injunction as moot. So basically, they asserted all this stuff that was talked about. They made an amendment to the lawsuit, and then that amended lawsuit was dropped with prejudice. When a lawsuit is dropped with prejudice, it means that it cannot be brought up again. So, like, oh boy, what would an example be?
Just briefly, chat. If you guys think that I didn't have to look up how to pronounce that word, you're mistaken. I had to look it up and then come in here.
Logarth with 100 bits says, sorry I said that word. You should be.
Because not a single one of your phonetic spellings meant anything to anyone. Like, it did not help whatsoever.
We commend the district court for its fast, fair, patient handling of this demanding litigation, this appeal. The campaign filed this appeal Sunday, November 22nd, and we granted its motion to expedite. The campaign filed its brief and another motion September 23rd. Opposing briefs and filings arrived the next day. We are issuing this opinion non-precedentially so we can rule by November 27th. The campaign does not challenge the district court's finding that the votes lacked standing, or the voters, rather, sorry. We do not challenge the district court's finding that the voters lack standing, so we do not consider their claims. They're saying that the original dropping of the case brought forward not by the Trump campaign, but by Republican voters that were claiming that they were disenfranchised in some way. They dropped it because they felt that the plaintiffs lacked standing to file such a suit on behalf of voters. Wing the Ultimate Nug with 20 bits and a link. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits as an example would be Vic McNaugh, I don't know what that person's last name is. Lawsuit against Monica Rial and Jamie Marchi. It was dismissed with prejudice. Sure, I don't know what lawsuit you're talking about, but if it was dismissed with prejudice, that's an example.
That's right.
Oh, and then there was a link.
Propaganda.
Anathema. 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 Anathema.
Anathema. I'm never going to use this word ever again, specifically because you people have made me hate this word. Okay? So
There's
stop.
nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
You mispronounced all 3 of those names. I'm nailing pronunciations today, guys. The campaign does not challenge the district court's finding that the voters lacked standing, so we do not consider their claims. On appeal, it seeks only narrow relief. To overturn the district court's decision not to let it amend its complaint again, we address this claim in Part 2. Separately, the campaign asks us for an injunction to prevent the certified vote totals from taking effect. We address this We addressed that claim in Part 3.
There's nothing funny about the
Part 2.
tools of capitalism.
District Court properly denied leave to amend the complaint again. MMO addicted with 20 bits. Ooh, Vic the Dick. Touchy-feely with underage fans. Had the balls to sue them. Disgusting. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. I don't know anything about that lawsuit. Courts should grant leave to amend freely when justice so requires. In civil rights cases, that means granting leave unless amendment would be futile or inequitable. Giving undue delay is an example of inequity. Here, the campaign's request fails as both inequitable and futile. Legal savage is the best savage. Because it's just cold and to the point. It is dry. It is... your attempts to overturn this election are futile. Lovely. The campaign's delay was undue given its stress on needing to resolve the case by the 23rd. When the campaign was before the district court, it focused its arguments on the need to resolve the case by Pennsylvania's deadline for counties to certify their votes, Monday, November 23rd. Indeed, all three iterations of the complaint focused their prayers for relief on blocking the certification of vote tally. The campaign said it would get no meaningful remedy after that date. Burr in sup. Don't know what that means. That's some legal stuff that I don't know. The campaign filed its first amended complaint on November 15th, 8 days before the certification deadline. In response to several pending motions to dismiss, it dropped many of the challenged counts from the original complaint. It did not move to file a second amended complaint until the 18th, when its opposition to the new motions to dismiss was due, and it did not file a brief in support of that motion until Friday, November 20th. Certification was 3 days away. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. Yeah, it was a huge story in 2019. Yeah, I don't even know who the people that the case you're talking about are, much less what the case was about. As the district court rightly noted, amending that close to the deadline would have delayed resolving the issues. True, delay alone is not enough to bar amendment, but at some point the delay will become undue, placing an unwarranted burden on the court. The campaign's motion would have done just that. It would have mooted the existing motions to dismiss and require a new briefing, possibly new oral argument, and a reasoned judicial opinion within 72 hours over a weekend. That is too much to ask, especially since the proposed Second Amendment complaint largely repealed many claims abandoned by the first one. Affirming denial of leave to amend because the new movement sought largely to replace facts and argument that could have been pled much earlier. Having repeatedly stressed the certification deadline, we're about halfway through this. Having repeatedly stressed the certification deadline, the campaign cannot now pivot and object that the district court abused its discretion by holding the campaign to that very deadline. It did not. One of the most harsh people on the internet is Legal Eagle. Legal Eagle's great. I love Legal Eagle. Amending the complaint again would have been futile. B. The campaign focuses on critiquing the district court's decision of undue delay. Though the court properly rested on that ground, we affirm on any ground supported by the record. Another ground also supports its denial of leave to amend. It would have been futile. The campaign had to plead plausible facts, not just conclusory allegations. Plaintiffs must do more than allege conclusions. Rather, a complaint must contain sufficient factual matter accepted as true to state a claim to relief that is plausible on its face. So basically they're saying they didn't bring us any evidence for the court to make conclusions on. They just came to us and said, you need to overturn the election. You can't do that. They came with a conclusion saying, we think that them not being allowed closer to the votes means that they were constitutionally, disenfranchised, or the voters were in some way. And the court says, well, you don't get to make that determination. If you're making that argument, you need to come with us with an argument to that end, not just say, I think this, because that's for the court to decide. You need to say, this, therefore this, therefore this, and that's our conclusion. They just went straight from, this happened, here's our conclusion, without legal backing to explain why they feel that being that far away somehow disenfranchises the voters. Did I see Styx's disgusting cooking? No, I didn't. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. I don't envy the journalists who specialize in trials and legal shit. There's a shit ton of legal jargon to summarize. True. Altered Run with 20 bits and a link. I imagine a lot of people who work in legal journalism have some background in the law, whether it's even just a pre-law program or something. I don't know. I'd imagine they have some sort of background so they understand what's going on. Oh god. Remove the word anathema from the English language. Change.org petition. Lovely. Threadbare recitals of the elements of a case of action supported by more conclusory statements do not suffice. The Second Amendment complaint does not meet Twombly and Iqbal's baseline standard of specifics. To start, note what it does not allege. Fraud. Indeed, in oral argument before the district court, campaign lawyer Rudolph Giuliani conceded that the campaign, quote, does not plead fraud. Let me repeat that. Campaign lawyer Rudolph Giuliani conceded that the campaign, quote, does not plead fraud. He reiterated, if we had alleged fraud, yes, but this is not a fraud case. Quote, if we had alleged fraud, yes, but this is not a fraud case. Glad we cleared that up. Tucker White 94, 20 bits. Forget, quote, get Hannah to say cheese in her hot pockets, getting her to say, oh god, I already lost the pronunciation. Anathema should take its place on Tinfoil Tuesday bingo. There we go. I hate that word now. You made me hate a word I didn't even know before today. I hate it. Though it alleges many conclusions, the Second Amendment complaint is light on facts. Take the nearly identical paragraphs introducing Count 1, 2, 4, and 6. Democrats who controlled the defendant county election boards engaged in a deliberate scheme of intentional and purposeful discrimination. Sorry, I should have said quote. This is the allegations made by the Trump campaign, not the conclusions of the court. By excluding Republican and Trump campaign observers from the canvassing of the mail ballots in order to conceal their decision not to enforce certain ballot requirements, end quote. That is conclusory. So is the claim that, upon information and belief of substantial portion of the approximately 1.5 million absentee ballots in defendant county should not have been counted. Upon information and belief is a lawyerly way of saying that the campaign does not know that something is a fact, but just suspects it or has heard it. While legal conclusions can provide the framework of a complaint, they must be supported by factual allegations, yet the campaign offers no specific facts to back up these claims. I can't even be clear. I can't be clearer than this law document. It's beautiful, and I love it. 2. The campaign has already litigated and lost most of these issues. Many of the Second Amendment complaints claims have already had their day in court. The campaign cannot use this lawsuit to collaterally attack those prior rulings. On counts 1, 2, 4, and 6, the campaign has already litigated whether ballots that lack a handwritten name, address, or date on the outer envelope must be disqualified. See in Canvass of Absentee and Mail Ballots 2020. You know, it's another lawsuit they did. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled against the campaign, holding, quote, the election code does not require the Board of Elections to disqualify mail-in or absentee ballots submitted by qualified electors who signed the declaration on their ballot's outer envelope, but did not handwrite their name, their address, and or date, where no fraud or irregularity has been alleged. That holding undermines the campaign's suggestion that defective ballots should not have been counted. Counts 1 and 2 also challenge the requirements that poll watchers be registered electors of the county they wish to observe and that observers be Pennsylvania lawyers. But the federal district court has already held, quote, that the county residency requirement for poll watching does not, as applied to this particular circumstances of this election, burden any of the campaign's fundamental constitutional rights. So they're basically saying that the Trump campaign was alleging because you needed to be from the county that you want to count. Basically, in order to be a poll watcher and go and watch the votes be counted, you need to be a resident of the county that you want to watch the votes be counted in. Republicans, or very specifically the Trump campaign, was alleging that is violating our constitutional rights. And the court said, what the fuck are you talking about? No, it doesn't. Go away. Hoika Man, thank you for subscribing with a 5-month streak. I appreciate that. The campaign never applied the decision, so it is bound by it. Count 7 alleges the Philadelphia Board of Elections violated due process by obstructing poll watchers and representatives, but nothing in due process clause requires having the poll watchers or representatives, let alone watchers from outside a county or less than 18 feet away from the nearest table. The campaign cites no authority for these propositions, and we know of none. Ditto for notice and cure procedures. And the campaign litigated and lost that claim under the state law, too. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court held that the election code requires only that the poll watchers be in the room, not that they be within any specific distance of the ballots. The campaign does not even challenge the dismissal of count 3, 5, and 9. The electors and elections clause counts. It conceded that under our recent decision, it lacks standing to pursue alleged violations of those clauses. And then another citation. Given its concession, we need not consider the issue anymore. The second amended complaint thus boils down to the equal protection claims in count 2, 4, 6, and 8. They require not violations of state law, but discrimination in applying it. Those claims fail too. Fat ginger beards. Oh wait, no, that wasn't a bits message. Sorry, the triangle threw me off because it was a triangle Illuminati sign and it looked like a bits message. Well, I'll read it anyway. Have you ever seen Santa and Karl Marx in the same place? I have not. True. The campaign never pleads that any defendant treated the Trump and Biden campaigner votes differently. A violation of equal protection clauses requires more than variation from county to county. It requires unequal treatment. It requires unequal treatment of similarly situated parties. So basically they're saying, okay, the Trump campaign is saying that because certain districts handled the election slightly differently, that the equal rights of Republican voters or whatever are somehow being trodden upon. But the court says no, because it's not only counties with Republicans and only counties with Democrats. Just because one happens to be majority one or majority the other doesn't make it that. They're saying that in order for it to be like an equal rights problem, then within the same district, they would have to be applying different rules to Republicans and Democrats, which they were not. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. So basically these lawsuits were nothing more than pageantry. Yep, basically. A violation of the Equal Protection Clause requires more than variation. Oh, already read that. Sorry. But the campaign never pleads or alleges that anyone treated it differently from the Biden campaign. Count 1 alleges that the counties refused to credential the campaign's poll watchers or kept them behind metal barricades away from the ballots. It never alleges that other campaigns' poll watchers or representatives were treated differently. Count 2 alleges that an unnamed lawyer was able to watch all aspects of voting in York County, while poll watchers in Philadelphia were not. It also makes a claim about one Jared M. Mallow, who was able to poll watch in York County. Counts 4 and 6 allege the poll watchers George Gallanthin had no issues in Bucks County, but was barred from watching in Philadelphia. And the count 8 alleges that Philadelphia officials kept Jeremy Mercer too far away to verify the ballots were properly filled out. None of these counts allege facts showing improper vote counting, and none allege facts showing that the Trump campaign was singled out for adverse treatment. The campaign cites no authority suggesting that an actor discriminates by treating people equally while harboring a partisan motive, and we know of none. Tucker White 94, 20 bits, it just keeps going, I know. If you guys want me to move on, let me know. I can. I just, I find it interesting. But if you guys are bored, tell me. These county-to-county variations do not show discrimination. Counties may, consistent with equal protection, employ entirely different election procedures and voting systems within the single state. Even when boards of elections vary considerably in how they decide to reject ballots, those local differences in implementing statewide standards do not violate equal protection.
There's nothing funny about the
Nor does Bush v. Gore help the campaign. There, the Florida Supreme Court had ratified treating ballots unequally. That was because the principle it sets forth, the intent of the voter, lacked any specific standard to ensure its equal application. The lack of any standards at all empowered officials to treat ballots arbitrarily, violating equal protection. Here, by contrast, Pennsylvania's election code gives counties specific guidelines. To be sure, counties vary in implementing the guidance, but that is normal. Reasonable county-to-county variation is not discrimination. Bush v. Gore does not federalize every jot and tittle, Bush v. Gore does not federalize every jot and tittle of state election law. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits says, please do. People are saying, keep going? Okay, good. Except one person says that's enough. But a lot of people are saying go. I don't know if we'll do the whole thing, but we'll go for a little bit longer. The relief sought throwing out millions of votes is unprecedented. Finally, the second amended complaint seeks breathtaking relief, barring the Commonwealth from certifying its results or else declaring the election results defective and ordering the Pennsylvania General Assembly, not the voters, to choose Pennsylvania's presidential electors. It cites no authority for this drastic remedy. So basically, the Trump campaign wants to completely disregard the will of the voters, to completely throw out the results of a democratic election and just let the Republican legislature unilaterally decide that Trump wins Pennsylvania, even though he lost it. The closest the campaign comes to justifying the relief it seeks is citing Marks v. Stinton, but those facts were a far cry from the ones here. In Marks, the district court found that Stinson campaign had orchestrated, quote, massive absentee ballot fraud, deception, intimidation, harassment, and forgery, quoting district court's tentative findings. It had lied to voters, deceived election officials, and forged ballots. We remanded the case, instructing that, quote, the district court should not direct the certification of candidate unless it finds on the basis of record evidence that its designated candidate would have won the election, but for wrongdoing. And that seemed likely. The Stinson campaign had gotten 600 net absentee ballot applications, roughly 1,000 minus 400 that were later rejected, more than the 461 vote margin of victory. Here, however, there is no clear evidence of massive absentee ballot fraud or forgery. On the contrary, at oral argument in district court, the campaign specifically disavowed any claim of fraud, and the margin of victory here is not nearly as close. Not 461 votes, but 81,000. So they're citing a case, a poll with literally one. Okay, no wins. Cool. We'll be done soon, though, guys. Anyway, we're at the very bottom of the thing. So basically, they were citing a case where there was actual election fraud. I think I heard about this case. There was literally fraud. It was in a more local election where someone literally filled out a bunch of fake absentee ballots and put them through the mail. This was, of course, discovered because that's incredibly stupid, and even at the local level, that kind of thing gets caught immediately, which makes the claims of, like, widespread millions and millions of fake votes so ridiculous, because even when it happens on the small scale, in an election no one gives a shit about, it gets caught. You get caught doing stuff like that. So in that case, they had to overthrow the election and just redo the election, right? They didn't even, like, they didn't declare a winner. I think they just did a new election. The Trump campaign is wanting them to do that here. Not even that. They want them to just award the election to Donald Trump because they're butthurt, I guess. And the court said no. No, you can't do that. Though district courts should freely give leave to amend, they do not need to do so when an amendment would be futile, because the second amended complaint would not survive a motion to dismiss. The district court properly denied leave to file it. 3. No stay or injunction is warranted. We could stop here. Once we affirm the denial of leave to amend, the case is over. Still, for completeness, we address the campaign's emergency motion to stay the effect of certification. No stay or injunction is called for. That is savage. That he's like, we could stop here, but we gotta talk about this fucking shit. So the Trump campaign was trying to get them to either postpone or undo the certification of Pennsylvania's votes. The court is saying, no, you don't get to do that. Though the campaign styles its motion as seeking a stay or preliminary injunction, what it really wants is an injunction pending appeal, but it neither requested that from the district court during the appeal nor showed that it could not make the request as required by the Federal Rule of Appellate Procedure. That failure bars the motion. Even if we could grant relief, we would not. Injunctions pending appeal, like preliminary injunctions, are extraordinary remedies, never awarded as of a right. For a stay or injunction pending appeal, the movant must show both a strong likelihood of success on the merits and 2, irreparable injury absent a stay or injunction. The first 2 factors are the most critical. After that, we also balance whether a stay or injunction will injure other interested parties. None of the 4 factors favor taking this extraordinary step. The campaign has no strong likelihood of success on the merits. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. I love the "we could stop here" isn't an actual legal document. I know, it's beautiful. As discussed, the campaign cannot win this lawsuit. It conceded that it's not alleging election fraud. It has already raised and lost most of these state law issues, and it cannot re-litigate them here. It cites no federal authority regulating poll watchers or notice and cure. It alleges no specific discrimination, and does not contest that it lacks standing under the Elections and Electors Clause. These claims cannot succeed. B. The campaign faces no irreparable harm. The campaign has not shown that denying relief will injure it upon information belief. It suspects that many of the 1.5 million mail-in ballots it challenged in counties were improperly counted. But it challenges no specific ballots. The campaign alleges only that at most 3 specific voters cast ballots that were not counted, and it never alleges that any except a lawful voter cast a vote. Of 7 counties, those notice and cure procedures are challenged. 4, including the 3 most populous, represent that they gave notice to only about 6,500 voters who sent in defective ballots packages. The campaign never disputed these numbers or alleged its own. Even if 10,000 voters got notice and cured their defective ballots, and every single one of them voted for Biden, that is less than an eighth of the margin of victory. Fucking savage. Fix MBR with 30 bits. A single page with massive font saying, "They ain't got shit," would have sufficed. Maria Horn, thank you for following. And Pseudosapien, thank you for hosting. I appreciate that. Plus, states are primarily responsible for running federal elections, U.S., and then the sites. Pennsylvania law has detailed mechanisms for disputing election results because the campaign can raise these issues and seek relief through state courts, and then the U.S. Supreme Court. Any harm may not be irreparable. C. The balance of equities opposes disenfranchising voters. Nor would granting relief be equitable. The campaign has already litigated and lost most of these issues as garden variety state law claims. It now tries to turn them into federal constitutional claims, but cannot. Even if it could, it has delayed bringing this suit. For instance, in Proper Count 4, it challenges giving voters notice and letting them cure ballots defects as violating equal protection. The campaign could have disputed these practices while they were happening, or during canvassing period. Instead, it waited almost a week after the election to file its original complaint, almost another week to amend it, and then another 3 days to amend it again. Its delays is inequitable, and further delay would wreak further inequity, and the campaign's charges are selective. Though Pennsylvania cast 2.6 million mail-in ballots, the campaign challenges 1.5 million of them. It cherry-picks votes cast in, quote, Democratic-heavy counties, but not those in, quote, Republican-heavy counties. Second Amendment... Oh, that's just the legal filing that was from. I apologize. Without compelling evidence of massive voter fraud, not even alleged here, we can hardly grant such a lopsided relief. Granted relief would harm millions of Pennsylvania voters, too. The campaign would have set aside 1.5 million ballots without even alleging fraud. As the deadline to certify votes has already passed, granting relief would disenfranchise those voters or sidestep the expressed will of the people. Tossing out those ballots would disrupt every down ballot race as well. There is no allegation of fraud, let alone proof, to justify harming those millions of voters as well as other candidates. D. The public interest favors counting all lawful voters' votes. Beautiful. Lastly, relief would not serve the public interest. Democracy depends on counting all lawful votes promptly and finally, not setting them aside without weighty proof. The public must have confidence that our government honors and respects their votes. What is more, throwing out those votes would conflict with Pennsylvania election law. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court has long liberally construed its election code to protect voters' right to vote, even when a ballot violates a technical requirement. Technicalities should not be used to make the right of the voter insecure. And then that's from a previous case from 1954. The court recently reiterated, quote, the election code should be liberally construed so as not to deprive electors of their right to elect a candidate of their choice. Thus, unless there is evidence of fraud, Pennsylvania law overlooks small ballot glitches and respects the expressed interest of every lawful voter. In our federalist system, we must respect Pennsylvania's approach to running elections. We will not make more of ballot technicalities than Pennsylvania itself does. Voters, not lawyers, choose the president. Ballots, not briefs, decide the election. The ballots here are governed by Pennsylvania election law. No federal law requires poll watchers or specifies where they must live or how close they may stand when votes are counted. Nor does federal law govern whether to count ballots with minor state law defectors or let voters cure those defects. Those are all issues of state law, not ones that we can hear, and earlier lawsuits have rejected those claims. This is them setting it up in case, at least based on what it looks like, because they're talking about state law so much and that this is a state matter. It seems to me they're writing it in this way so that if they try and bounce this to the Supreme Court, it's like, hey, this is a state thing. Stay the fuck out of our yard, basically.
Didn't get a hype train at some point.
Yeah. Okay. Hat.
I love you.
Love you too. This is the last page, by the way. We're almost done. A honeybee with 1,000 bitch enjoyed the show as always, Hannah. The, oh god. Anathema? Anathema of the atheists, but I had to go do some work. Pronounced anathema. Thank you. I appreciate it. And, Jakai must try. Thank you for following. Let's see.
They're calling us gay in chat.
True. Seeking to turn those state law claims into federal ones, the campaign claims discrimination, but its alchemy cannot transmute lead into gold.
Oh, fuck!
That's good. The campaign never alleges that any ballot was fraudulent or cast by an illegal voter. It never alleges that any defendant treated the Trump campaign or its votes worse than it treated the Biden campaign or its votes. Calling something discrimination does not make it so. The Second Amendment complaint still suffers from these core defects, so granting leave to amend would have been futile. And there is no basis to grant the unprecedented injunction sought here. First, for the reason already given, the campaign is unlikely to succeed on the merits. Second, it shows no irreparable harm, offering specific challenges to many fewer ballots than the roughly 81,000 vote margin of victory. Third, the campaign is responsible for its delay in repetitive litigation. Finally, the public interest strongly favors finality, counting every lawful voter's vote and not disenfranchising millions of Pennsylvania voters who voted by mail. Plus, discarding those votes would disrupt every other election on the ballot. We will thus affirm the district court's denial of leave to amend and deny an injunction pending appeal. The campaign asked for a very fast briefing schedule, and we have granted its request. Because the campaign wants us to move as fast as possible, we also deny oral argument. Basically, the campaign's like, we want this done very quickly, and the judges, rather, this is the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, so there's multiple judges. Oh, you want it to be done quick, huh? Okay, no more oral arguments, bitch. We're done. We're done here. That's beautiful. We grant all motions to file overlength responses, to file America's briefs, and to supplement appendices. We deny all other outstanding motions as moot. This court's mandate shall issue at once. That was amazing. We should read court cases more often on here, whether they be interesting or savage, because that was some savage-ass shit.
There's nothing funny about the tools.
Good for the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. Tired Park says best bedtime story ever. It certainly is. It certainly is. Let's see. So yeah, that's the ruling from the Pennsylvania Supreme Court today. Interesting stuff. Pretty savage. If this goes to the Supreme Court nationally, then the United States Supreme Court, it'll be interesting because it's pretty final. Like, I understand that, like, the Supreme Court can disagree with state Supreme Courts that happens, but this seems like all the allegations are basically about state level stuff that should be dealt with in the state, right? These are not federal violations. These are state laws, especially considering many of the conservative Supreme Court justices are probably going to want to be on the side of states having autonomy, more or less. Especially, like, even someone like Amy Coney Barrett, right? I feel like in service of wanting states to have leniency in what they're allowed to do for future rulings and stuff like abortion. Like, if it's like, I imagine at some point, some state, now that Amy Coney Barrett's on the bench, is probably going to try and ban abortion or do something that's very abortion banny, which will get another abortion case up to the Supreme Court, and she will want to rule in favor of the state's right to ban that thing, right? This going against the Pennsylvania Supreme Court in regard to state election law kind of goes against that ethos, but I don't know. Conservatives are hypocrites, so I'll never expect them to be consistent, but I'm just saying, if we're going for consistency, going against this ruling would be self-sabotaging for future states' autonomy type cases. Undercover Beast with 100 bits. Beautiful read, Hannah. You give? Okay. Undercover Beast with another 100 bits. Oh, you give Leonard French a run for his money. Gosh, I like my enter key. I certainly don't, because Leonard French actually has a law degree and knows what he is talking about. I just enjoy the savage parts I understand. Anyway, so that's that. Fun stuff. What else are we going to look at? We're only an hour and a half in. Cool. Okay, so this is Bryson Gray. Bryson Gray is a amateur rapper. Let me go back. I'm going to have to go back like 4 years to show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, so notice his early videos get like 600 views, 488 views, 2,000 views, and then at a certain point he starts making stuff about Donald Trump, right? He made a rap about, not being Democrat and being a Trump supporter, and this one gets 87,000 views. His previous videos were getting hundreds of views, and then this one gets 87,000. So he starts making Maga content, 52,000, 2.6 thousand, 506,000, 242,000. So he at this point, he realized, okay,
That's right,
the Maga stuff is a good grift. He probably is actually a Trump supporter. I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying he realized that leaning into the Trump supporter persona online was a way to be successful. BB Gottwald, thank you for following. Logarth, thank you for subscribing with a 6-month streak. So, since he figured out that, the Maga content gets him a ton of views, it's all he's done for the past, year. 2 years almost. Let me see exactly when the first one came out. He didn't even get a full 4 years. It's a little sad. Yeah, June 20th, 2019 is when he started doing this. So he got a year and a half out of the Trump grift where he's getting good views for his pro-Trump raps, okay? Like he has tons of videos, okay? And he's doing well. Of course, now Donald Trump has lost the election, and the entirety of the thing his success online has been based around is collapsing around him. He's not taking it well. So, oh, by the way, we listened to one of his raps the other day. Here it is.
Everybody know that. Democrats, they think that they stole that. Dominion voting systems, let's expose that. They give him the L, let him hold anybody in jail. His son as well.
You get it. He's not very good, but he has a niche in that he does pro-Trump raps, okay? Trump lost, so all his success is about to go down the toilet. This is a live stream he did recently. Let's see what he has to say and how he's coping with the election loss and, by proxy, the loss of his entire rap career as it stands currently. Starling CJ, thanks for following.
I don't think you can get the hibachi I want though on the apps. Yeah, I gotta call. What up, YouTube? I gotta go live on YouTube. So Twitter obviously doesn't like me. They don't let me go live on there. Katie, what up, everybody? What up?
I don't know for sure, but I assume that means he got, I don't know, banned from streaming on Twitch Twitter for some reason. I don't know why, but Seems to be the implication of what he just said.
What is happening?
It was working.
Nah, well, everybody said it was frozen again. So Twitter is like it'll freeze, but then when I actually post after I'm done going live, then it'll play like it's regular.
There's nothing
Very
funny
weird.
about the tools
Very
of
weird.
capitalism.
Not shocked though.
Yeah, he is recording in portrait. I'm not a fan of that. This isn't portrait. Turn your phone sideways. Yeah.
What up, y'all? What up? What up? What up? Jumping on Dr. Phil the other day, it was lit. You see a brand chocolate sucks? True. Alright, listen. Let's go ahead and let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let me post this on Twitter to let them know that I am live because Twitter did let me go live. Oh, the LGBT Trump supporters. Again, here they go. Where can I get that merch? This is not my merch, but I do have merch on BrysonCreates.com. But
Let's see what his merch looks like. BrysonCreates.com. Does he not have a link? Well, you gotta put that stuff in the description. Gotta get people to go to your thing. Is there in the About section? Wow, okay. He doesn't even have a link to his thing. BrysonCreates.com. Bryson Creates. Alright, I'm not fucking around to look for his merch website.
But I was saying, so these walkaway people on Twitter lying. Let me tell y'all something. Nobody can find a tweet where I tag any of these people. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can find a tweet of any of that. I'm always responding to these people because these people come at me on my Twitter. And then the girl, what's her name? Let me go to my ad and find her name. Like I genuinely don't even these people are very weird, honestly, to keep it a band. Where's she at? Recent here, what up, bro? Dr. Carlin, is that what it is? You said LGBT love you, Bryson. Don't let them make us look bad. Hey,
Let me see if there's a better video. I know I saw one the other day that was alright. I'm back. Let's get controversial. The right is becoming the left. My response to walk away. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. He had this shirt. LGBT, Liberty, Guns, Beer, Trump. His website's terrible. Link his website so I can take a look. Unless it's TOS, of course. But, like, if it's just, badly designed. Let me see.
There's nothing
Call
funny
me.
about the tools of capitalism.
Tucker White 94, and I thought Bryson's raps were bad. This live stream is just
So y'all,
vapid.
I'm back live.
Hold on. Let me take a look at his website. Okay. Alright. I can take a look at this. Bryson Gray official store. Shop now. Let me see. Patriots versus everybody. Thank God for Trump. Facts greater than feelings. Something tells me that the fact that Joe Biden won the election isn't hampering his feelings that isn't the case. MAGA, make America godly again. Country Christian conservative. Oh. May you send a YouTube link? Sure, go ahead. Oh, God. Silent majority. I agree. Republicans are anything but silent, but they're certainly not the majority. That's why they continually lose national elections. The last time a Republican won the popular vote was 2004. Before that, I think it was like the late 80s or the early 90s.
In 2077, what makes someone a criminal? Getting caught.
Okay. I'm excited for Cyberpunk. Liberal tears, terrorists shooting facts over feelings. Wow. That's questionable as fuck, considering, Rittenhouse murdering people, but okay. God's country. Gross. No, it's not. We are a secular society. Individuals within that society are religious, but our government is not religious, nor has it ever been. Very specifically, the government was set up to keep people's religion out of it. Pro-choice, and then it's 3 guns. Haha. Make AOC bartend again. They're so mad that someone who had a day job actually became successful and became a senator. Isn't that funny? That Republicans' entire thing is supposed to be like, anyone in this country can come from nowhere and be a success. And then AOC was like a bartender, and they continually make fun of the fact that she had like a normal job, like a normal human being. What's up with that? Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. Bryson's just a paint-by-numbers conservative. He's no different than Ben Shapiro. I mean, I guess. Ben Shapiro doesn't rap, though. Except for his beautiful rendition of wet-ass P-word. AOC lives free in their minds. True. Anyway, back to his thing.
Back live. When people call me, it like destroys the whole live. So I had to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. So let's get this straight. And let me address these people on Twitter real quick. Going live, responding to the walkaway people.
I don't even know what he's talking about. Is there some sort of like right-wing walkaway thing? I know there used to be like a left-wing walkaway thing. If you ever see any of these like things that are like walkaway stories, and this is why I left my political party, 95 to 99% of those are always fake. So no one should ever take them seriously.
People in this movement, these people are liars. These people are liars.
I honestly agree with them. I don't believe for a second any Republican has the moral fiber to actually walk away from the Republican Party. Republicans don't have, like, principles. They have a team, and they just want that team to win, and they will shift their, like, so-called principles to match whoever's in power at the time. So I agree. I don't believe that there's any sort of Republican walkaway thing.
And the walkaway movement in itself is nothing wrong with. But the people that run the walkaway movement...
Candace Owens is part of the walkaway movement? In what sense? Is she mad that the Republican Party isn't getting behind Trump's fraud claims or something?
They are all snakes, okay? They are literal liberals.
Let me see. Candace Owens walk away. Let me see if I know what you guys are talking about. Hashtag walk away. This is from April 12th, 2019. Oh, leaving the radical left. Are they literally talking about the bullshit walk away shit? Because that all was fake too. Anyone who claims to be like, I'm leaving my, especially people on the left, frankly, going to Trump, bullshit. But I would say the same thing for Trump supporters trying to go to the left. I don't think that's the case.
They are literally liberals trying to force us to get in line. And so let me start with Abby, right? Because Abby just said something, she just lied. And she just lied. So let's start with Abby. The walkaway girl. Let's start with Abby. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. First of all, we can start with Brandon Stryker. Let's start with the top. A lot of y'all like Brandon Stryker, right? So I was talking about my Christian values on my Facebook. And Brandon Stryker.
Sounds like, what's the word that right-wingers use? Sounds like you were virtue signaling to me.
Didn't like it, so he decided himself to comment on my page, right? Because this is what these LGBT people do on the right side. And you said, what's good, Faye? What up, everybody? So let's get this straight. Brandon Stryker came on my Facebook page, because he was upset about something I said that was obviously reflecting my Christian values, and it was about the LGBT community, right? He didn't like it. So he said, you're stupid, y'all. He basically called the word of God dumb. And I'm going to tell you why he did it. These people that walked away from the left, mainly the LGBT ones, a lot of these people don't care.
Okay, so he is talking about the hashtag walkaway movement. Yeah, that's not a real thing. If you were someone who used to identify as on the left, and instead of just recognizing, like, the Democratic Party is shitty and corrupt, but you're still gonna hold left-leaning principles, if instead of that you decided, fuck it, I'm gonna go over and support Trump, because fascism is the same as being liberal, right? That's made up. People don't do that, and if you do that, then you were never really left in the first place. If fascism appeals to you, you were never left-leaning. You just didn't know what the fuck you were doing. Jessabel with 100 bits. Gotta go write a paper. Thanks for the legal savagery. Night, everyone. Thank you. Thanks for coming to the stream.
Care about real unity. They want the right to be monolithic, like the left was when... They wanted it to be monolithic like the left was when they were on the left, right? Steph, thank you so much for the 5. Thank you so much for the 5. So, Brandon Straka started passing the word around that I was homophobic, right? Try to get me canceled and stuff like that.
Did he wear the Liberty Guns Beer Trump shirt intentionally because he was going to talk about actual LGBT issues? Interesting strategy.
And then he ended up trying to get in touch with the Trump campaign. The Trump campaign.
There's nothing funny
Trying to
about
get me
the
canceled
tools
with
of
them too,
capitalism.
right?
Tucker White 94 20 bits. A blue-haired chick called me a mean word, so now I think gays shouldn't marry. It's that level of stupid. It is. It makes no sense.
And let me tell you how this transpired. Let me tell you how this went further. When I was shooting for the RNC convention, when I was shooting for it, Abby was there. She's one of the top people from Walkaway. Her Twitter is WalkawayED. She was Joe Ramirez with $10. Just bumped you.
Let me see. Walkaway ED. Libby Albert, MBA, former Dem, seeking the truth. I chose to hashtag walkaway. Executive director of the hashtag walkaway foundation. Oh, I see. You can donate to her and her organization, and she'll further the cause of walkaway. It's the same grift that the Lincoln Project is using on the left. It's the same exact grift. Oh, sure. Liberals come and give money to the Lincoln Project. We'll get a bunch of Republicans to vote for Biden. Wink, wink, give us money. This is the same thing on the other side. Oh, give us money. We'll get a bunch of liberals to come and support Donald Trump. Sure. I'm sure that's been very successful in terms of making the number in your bank account go higher. And she only has 7,000 Twitter followers. I have more Twitter followers than this lady. Yikes.
To the store and back. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. Right-wing cancel culture? Yeah, it's mainly these LGBT folk. Abby, when we were there, the hairdresser people that was there, they said, yeah, that girl Abby, she told us that...
Lincoln Project legit hate Trump, though not quite the same. I would believe that a lot of people in the Lincoln Project don't like Trump, but I don't think it's for the reasons they claim. I think they don't like that Trump is saying the quiet part out loud, but they're completely fine with wanting to, like, cut Social Security or do away with it or get rid of, like, Medicare or whatever, you know, reducing, you know, taxes for the wealthy. They're still shitbags, and they're like, hey, give us money and we'll get Republicans to not vote for Donald Trump, which we didn't really see happen this election. So why are people giving them money? And now they're going to take the money that they do have and go and try and, you know, prop up the Republican Party into a form that they want, which is a mask-on version of Republican Party. Trump is just the Republican Party with the mask off. I hate Trump for many, many reasons, but, like, he is being honest with what he's saying. It's just he's being honest about the terrible, destructive, totalitarian policies right-wingers want to bring about. It's a whole thing. They just think he's bad for their image? Yeah. Yeah. Basically.
That y'all used to be friends, that you're homophobic and transphobic, and that we should watch out for you. Like, we should watch out for you. This is what the Trump campaign was telling me. Abby was there. We were both there shooting for the same day for the RNC convention. Joe Proctor to 299, thank you so much. And Abby, is that her name, Abby? From the Walkaway, I think that's her name. She was on there too. And yeah, so she said this to the Trump campaign while I'm there. While I'm there, talking about I'm homophobic and this like that, right? So, then to move further, I said a joke under Candace Owens Live and broke back Patriot and sent screenshots to everybody, screenshots this, then him, Brandon Straka and everybody. They try to get the Trump campaign to literally stop working with me. Mama C, thank you so much for the $5. They try to get the Trump campaign to literally stop working with me. Now, mind you, through all this, I have connections too. Bryson Gray has never, not once, tried to get anybody canceled from anything. I don't care if we disagree.
Infighting within the Republican base is beautiful to me, and I love it.
I don't care if you hate me. I will never try to get you canceled from anything, because this is not the left. This is not a monolith. We do not all have to think.
The left is far from a monolith, and I would even say the same thing about the right. Anyone who claims the right is all a monolith and the left is all a monolith, both are untrue. I do think Republicans are better at getting in line in terms of, like, even if they disagree with, like there are Republicans who will be like, I don't like how brash Trump is, but they'll still vote for him, because at the end of the day, Republicans tend to get in line. I don't think that's as much the case on the left, but there is right-wing infighting, absolutely. I mean, we saw that when Trump was working on getting the nomination in 2016, right? The never-Trumpers who eventually did get in line, but I'm sure behind closed doors they still have many, many disagreements. They just don't have the spine to say that kind of thing in public, even during Trump's lame duck session. But, yeah, infighting exists on the left. Like, liberals and leftists don't get along. There are a lot more liberals than there are leftists, unfortunately. But, like, even within liberals, I'd imagine there's a decent bit of infighting. I don't know, maybe about how many female drone pilots we should have. I don't know. But, like, infighting exists in any political organization, any political spectrum is going to have some sort of infighting, especially amongst individual members. You know, yeah, people have conflict. That's the one thing. This is completely a non sequitur, but, like, Gene Roddenberry, when he was making Star Trek: The Next Generation, wanted to make a show with absolutely no interpersonal conflict because he thought in the future human beings just wouldn't have that kind of petty nonsense. And I am so glad that after he passed away that they did away with that rule, because, my God, human beings, and I would imagine sentient, sapient beings of all types in the universe, have interpersonal drama, okay? People aren't gonna all of a sudden, you know, raise themselves up into this utopian system where we never fight with one another. But that's a Star Trek thing, so that's completely unrelated.
Think the same over here. If you disagree with me, that's fine. And then let's focus. Then we can have common goals also.
Hold on, there's a link to an article I definitely want to look at. Arcana Stamber Blackwell sends an article that says, evangelical activist, Joe Biden's military will be a transgender atheist army for the Antichrist. Where do I sign? A petition sent out to his email list, evangelical activist and former Colorado state legislator Gordon Klingenschmidt warned of some big changes coming to the military under the incoming president, Joe Biden. According to Klingenschmidt, female soldiers and students will be, quote, forced to share common showers and rooms with cross-dressing men or boys with male anatomy within hours of Biden's inauguration. Within hours? That's impressive. I guess it does make sense. People on the left know how to govern, as opposed to people on the right who don't. Christian troops who object to sharing co-ed showers and bunks with the opposite gender anatomy, opposite sex anatomy is what you mean, will be vilified as discriminators and punished, demoted, discharged, or court-martialed. Mark my words, the devil wants an atheist army for the Antichrist soon, he wrote. According to the Friendly Atheists, Hemet Meta, the military itself has no problem with trans soldiers. Donald Trump kicked them out on a whim because the Republican Party and its Christian followers are cruel, Meta writes. According to them, will not hurt the allowing them back in will not hurt the military. It wasn't hurting them before. It's that simple, you know. It doesn't matter. I'm not a big fan of the military, how it stands, but yeah, I don't think you should be barring people based on their gender identity. I think that's fucked up.
But see, the problem is a lot of these
The Undercover Beast with 200 bits. Off topic again, but I was watching one of the older streams and saw you're still finding older videos with mono audio issues. No idea if you've already thought of it, but I run an EQ extension for Chrome that has an easy mono button to fix the audio if you want to check it out. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Let me click on the link. Audio equalizer, stylish audio equalizer in your browser's toolbar. Pop-up audio equalizer is a light extension that lets you easily adjust audio settings. The balance between frequency and components is from toolbar, pop-up. Okay, I'll add this. Cool. So, how do I... More tools, extensions. How do I activate this if I need to in the future, if we get like a video with mono audio? Let me know.
Away people, they had such a protection, like a safe space when they was on the left. So when they come to the right, they're trying to create a safe space on the right. Take your butt back to the left. Brandon Straka, Abby. And by the way, I love the walk away movement Facebook. I love it because it's a bunch of people walking away on the Facebook page. You can just watch walk away stories. Joshua Perez, thank you so much for the $5. While they're surprised that a conservative man isn't pro-LGBT, I'm a Christian, duh. So also, Abby said something about like the walk away helped my career. The walk away did nothing for my career. Nothing. Literally. Walk away did nothing for my career. Trump posted me and then Trump retweeted me. That's what got me popular. It wasn't like, what do you mean? And here's the thing. I've never not had these Christian views. Nobody can go to a time where I change my views. Whoever has been following me from the beginning, you know I've been saying the same exact things from the beginning. Even in my music. You can literally listen to my music from the beginning and realize that I've been talking about the same thing. Oh, who's Abby? Some girl from the Walkaway movement. If you go to my Maga challenge, she was rapping in the Maga challenge. Her verse was pretty good too. Red, white, and blind with the $10. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just speaking hard truths. And this is the thing. I am speaking the truth. There shouldn't be a surprise that any Christian conservative is against same-sex marriage, that any Christian conservative doesn't support the LGBT community. But the problem is these walk-away gay people, these walk-away trans people, they want to create that same safe space they had on the left. They're trying to create that same safe space on the right.
They're not left-wingers, my guy. They are a bunch of right-wingers who are pretending to previously be left-wingers in order to grift. The Undercover Beast with 100 bits. I'm going to read it anyway, so I know the instructions. Enable the extension. Pin the extension for easy access on your toolbar. Click on its icon. Make sure the on-off button isn't grayish, and then hit the mono button on the bottom left. Okay, cool. Thank you. I will use that if we, get mono videos in the future. Dotaku Live. Thank you for following.
It will get you canceled if you disagree with them. America Spoon with the $5. Thank you so much.
Capitalistic propaganda.
And we allow it because we want people to support Trump so bad, to be Republican so bad, that we'll say, "Oh, we have a Big Tent. You can be over here. It's okay. I'm a Christian. It's okay. You know, it's okay." No, it is not okay. These people should not be coming over here being able to control conservatism because they're not conservatives.
That's hilarious because they're really not. They're really not left either. But okay.
Giovanna Jameson with the $40. Thank you so much. But like I said before, this is not a monolith. You can't force me to think like you. You can't shame me and think like you. You might can do that with these other mainstream conservatives, but you can't do it with Bryson because you can't cancel me because I have God on my side and I pick God first.
I have the power of God and anime on my side, so I am undefeatable.
I could lose every follower and I'm still picking God first. You can't cancel me. Well, we do have a Big Tent. If you're not for freedom, here's the thing. I'm not saying you can't be gay and vote for Trump. Of course you can. Why can't you? Why couldn't you be gay and vote for Trump?
Nothing's physically stopping you, but I would recommend you don't do it because Donald Trump and the Republican Party does not like the LGBT community. They don't like people within it. They wish we didn't exist. So I would not suggest you go about being a Trump supporter if you happen to be in one of these marginalized groups. Not going to end well for you or anyone else in those groups.
What I am saying is you're not going to force me to support your lifestyle.
Womp womp. Period.
My friends smoke weed. I would never go get weed for them. I don't want to be around them really when they're smoking weed because I hate the way it smells.
You heard it here first, folks. Being gay, which is something you literally cannot change and is part of who you are as a human being, is the same as doing drugs. Be gay. Do drugs.
I don't want my clothes smell like it. I rock with them, though, but I'm not supporting their lifestyle. Aaron Kazali, thank you so much for the 10. You're not changing up as well. I support you. Hey, thank you, man. Perform. I just told them I don't associate with the LGBT movement stuff, but I will perform my own set.
Jalen Jean with 20 bits. LGBT people I know who, quote, walk away were never left in the first place and have this sad mentality that grifting to the fascists who enable their oppression will end their oppression sooner. It reminds me of people going back to their abusers. It's sad, yeah. Tokenizing yourself in order to gain favor with people who hate you has never been a strategy that has ever worked for anyone ever in the history of the world. It sucks being part of a marginalized community. I understand that. But prostrating yourself to those who are marginalizing you will never make them like you. It will never make them not hate you. All you've done is basically put yourself below them and said, okay, you're right, I'm lesser than you. Please just stop treating me as badly as you treat the other people in my group. And that's not good for you, and it's not good for the rest of the community. Don't do it.
That person couldn't even do that. That person couldn't even do that. They simply said, I am not performing. I am not going on stage if Bryson is there. And then Lady Maga, the grown man that be wearing dresses, tried to, low-key, they tried to set me up.
Gonna guess that's a trans individual.
Brett Marley with the 5.
Let me take a look.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Okay. Drag queen for Trump. Yes, really. Okay, so Lady Maga is a drag queen who supports Donald Trump. Yikes. Tucker White 94 20 bits. Bryson so vapid and boilerplate. So here's a 1950s PSA about whether you're a communist or a citizen. I'll save this for a Public Domania episode. Public Domania. Done. Cool.
They talk more like socialists and communists and fascists than they do Americans. They literally want to eliminate the Electoral College.
Yeah. That's the opposite of fascism. That's wanting democracy to work as it should, with one person's vote being equal to everyone else's vote.
They want to take away your Second Amendment rights to keep and bear arms.
I don't. You can have guns. Go shoot them. Shoot your guns. Do the gun thing. Just don't murder people.
And what's even more alarming is the Democrats are radicalizing our youth. So I went to Gay Pride in Salt Lake City and I asked people, if you had 1 minute with our president, Donald Trump, what would you say? What would you...
Yikerinos. Oh, guys. The left are radicalizing your youth. Also, by the way, here's a bunch of kids that we're forcing into our weird right-wing themed picture. Whatever. It's just a Thanksgiving celebration, I know. Stupid.
$5. Thank you so much. So, let me, you know what I'm saying? Let me, you know, period, point blank. Being your honest self and walking with God instead of the world, it gets you in a lot of drama.
Oh, so you being your honest self is good, but someone else being their honest self because they're in the LGBT community, that's bad.
Even in the conservative movement, who would have known? Who would have thought? Interdimensional harmony with the 5, thank you. Who would have thought that being a conservative in the conservative movement...
You don't think I'm wearing enough hats? Then I guess you should do a hype train, because that's where the hats come from.
would bring you drama. Being a real conservative, who would have thought that being a conservative would get you canceled? At all these events, I'm always having issues. Behind the scenes, I'm always having issues. Where is the space for real Christians? Because these soft, lukewarm Christians have ruined it. Wyatt Daily with the 5. You should interview Jesse Lee Peterson. I was on Jesse Lee Peterson. Zealous Justin said, Liberty, guns, Bible, Trump. Yes, of course. So, what I'm saying is, I have my belief system. I have a moral code. I'm not turning on that code. Not for no fame, not for no connections. If y'all don't want Bryson Gray to perform at any of y'all events, then don't have Bryson Gray performing at any of your events. Because I don't care. I'm gonna put it right here. Bryson Gray, I'm gonna say this again, you will never see me apologize for anything. And then Libby said she didn't try to get the campaign to stop working with me. She said I'm a homophobe and a liar. Yeah.
It got to level 2, so I should have one more hat? Okay.
Of course the Trump campaign won't come out and tell it, but they know, y'all. Listen, behind the scenes, everybody knows what'll be going on. I can tell y'all somebody that because the person that calls me, she's always calling me because somebody's mad because they think I'm homophobic and they don't want to be on stage with me. All right? This is how it is. Now, past the drama, because I just wanted to address that because a lot of people, I'm telling you, a lot of these people y'all follow in this movement are snakes, liar, and fakes. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Fat Ginger
They're mad
Beard,
because
thank you
I
for
do not
gifting
fall
a
in line.
sub.
I'm not falling in line. I'm not compromising in any way, shape, or form. How does being openly against LGBT make me a liar? I don't know. These people just make up stuff, okay?
Okay. I'm pretty sure I'm done with this guy. He's just...
Do you? Cardboard Cape with another 5. Conservatives are the real...
I'm curious what these guys are gonna do. All the MAGA grifters, they're just gonna have to find day jobs or something. Because I guess it depends on where the party goes. If the party finds another cult of personality figure similar to Donald Trump, then they'll just move over to that figure, I suppose. Although it'll be very interesting seeing them jump from being very hardcore Trump to hardcore someone else, but they'll do it unapologetically. It'll be interesting. But, like, if the Republican Party actually reverts to pre-2016 and they go back to being, like, Mitt Romney-esque and they can't find another Trump to be that kind of person, what are they going to do? They can't be like, oh, yes, I agree with Mitt Romney's fiscal policy, you know? God, the hat hair is so fucking bad today. Because their whole identity isn't about policy. It's, yeah, Trump's owning the libs. That's like their entire thing. It's so stupid. Do you think they'll move to Democrats to grift? I don't think so. No, they won't do that. All right, what about this woman, Jennifer Walters? I skipped ahead because she plays a copyrighted song at the beginning, so I just skipped past that intro. This is a little bit after the election. This is her talking about Trump stuff. And also, she's a QAnon believer because this is Where We Go One, We Go All, which is a QAnon thing. So let's see what she has to say.
Today's a good day. Yeah. Thanks, boo. I feel so much better today. I was a little nervous yesterday. I let my anxiety get the best of me. Y'all, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. You guys, this is huge. This is gonna be epic. This is like Christmas for Patriots. Like, we have worked all this time to get to now. Like, I think that was part of it. I think I kind of freaked out, like, oh my God, it's finally here. Like, it's actually happening. We've been talking about it, right? Ooh, this is gonna be so good. I can't wait. Everybody remember, we are all in this together. Remember that we enjoy going the day of. Like, we really are going to see a tsunami of red. You understand? There are people right now waiting in line for 3 hours to
Oh, was this from the day of? It got reposted by someone else after the election then. Oh, it went to the... Hold on.
place their vote for who? What? Trump, baby. That's right. We are doing it today. Everybody, let's remember. Remember 2016. Remember them crying on TV. Do you remember? Donald Trump has won Pennsylvania. Donald Trump won Florida. I mean, they were like, they couldn't even get it together. Do you remember? And then all of a sudden they were like, Donald Trump is going to be the 45th president of the United States of America. And do you remember your timelines? Do you remember your timelines? People being like, ah, you guys, it's here. It's here.
See, this is why I don't feel bad at all when I make fun of all the Maga cope. Some people are like, oh, you shouldn't be so mean. These people were literally fucking begging to destroy the lives of other people, and they wanted to laugh about it. I'm perfectly fine making fun of them. Fuck these people.
Here, we're doing it. We're doing it. I can't wait to see this shit. Then we got Joe Biden out here with Lady Gaga yesterday and John Legend, right? John Legend with Kamala, I heard. I didn't watch.
Hoodie, thank you for subscribing with a 3-month streak.
This is gonna matter. Really?
Hoodie says, thanks, Hannah, for making me laugh and doing what you do. Much love from California. Thank you.
I mean, for real, Hillary Clinton, like, basically paid people to go see her and Jay-Z and Beyonce. Like, come on, they don't stay.
I don't think you gotta pay anyone to go see Jay-Z and Beyonce. I don't like Beyonce, but a lot of people really, really like Beyonce and Jay-Z. So I don't think you gotta pay people to go see them.
Stand a chance. They don't stand a chance. Listen, I got my hair as wild and big as possible today. Because isn't it like, don't they say like the bigger the hair? Or the taller the hair, like the closer to God or something like that. Like we're doing big hair. We got big hoops because y'all know. Y'all know. You got big hoops on. It's like you're smoking red hot, right? Like makes you feel like badass. You got these badass hoops on. Red lips. We are Red Kingdom, baby.
She sounds like she's going through a manic episode. I just want to put... That's my armchair diagnosis.
Baby, it is game on. I'm so excited. I can't even stand it. I wish I had some incredible, like, message to say.
It's so weird. The Donald Trump shirt, the Donald Trump coffee mug. Why would you make a political candidate your entire identity? It's so cringe.
I just want to party with you guys all day. Like, why is it that I'm just stuck at my house with my children all day? Like, I want to be with you guys. Like, I want to be with you guys. Like, this is it. This is it, you guys. Patriots. Patriots. I'm going to start drinking. It's going to be an epic day.
I've been there. That's not a healthy place to be. It's 8 a.m. It's time to fucking drink. No, that's bad. Don't be that.
It's really gonna be epic, okay? Like tonight at 8 o'clock Central Time, I will be live on Facebook only. And we're gonna be live as much as possible. I learned last time that you can only be live for 4 hours before Facebook shuts you down, and then you gotta reboot. But starting at 8 p.m. Central, it's game on. We're going to be live. We're going to be drinking. We're going to be dancing. We're going to be doing God knows what. And watching this.
I wonder how that worked out. Does she have her own YouTube channel? This is another channel that seemingly, like, reposts other people's stuff. Oh, is it does she only do Facebook video? Yeah, F that. I'm not doing a Facebook video. Let me see if she has her own YouTube channel. But it didn't look like it from the search results. That's not what I wanted. for. Yeah, no, looks like she only does like Facebook Live stuff. God. I can't even say old people. She's not even that old. What? How weird to do all your... I get it. If you're trying to do Trump supporter stuff, it probably makes sense to put yourself on Facebook instead of YouTube, but...
Tsunami.
You'd think you'd do both, you know?
Crash the shores of the USA. God, it's so good. Oh my God, it's so good. I wish I had something else to say, you guys.
Stephen J. Neptune Man with 20 bits. Indeed, even though AOC and Bernie are progressive all-stars, you don't find any leftists building their entire persona around them, right? I like Bernie. I voted for Bernie, but Bernie lost, and I moved on with my fucking life. I never owned a single piece of Bernie merchandise. Never owned a shirt or nothing. Nothing.
I just wanted to come on here and be like, you guys, we're doing it. It's here. We've been fighting mainstream media. We've been fighting the lunatic liberals. We've been fighting corruption. We've been fighting a dirty
How have you been fighting corruption? Question. Donald Trump just pardoned Flynn, who admitted to lying to the FBI. How are we fighting corruption again? Can this be explained, or are you just saying words that make you feel good? Phosphophyllite with 69 bits. Nice. Hey, Hannah, sorry I'm late. Just been miserable at work with a possible sinus infection. Definitely not COVID. Oh, sorry to hear that. I hope that is not too bad as far as sinus infections go. I hope you're able to get through it all right.
dossier. We've been fighting fraud on a FISA court. We've been fighting... You know, the elite, the deep state. We've been fighting Hollywood celebrities. We've been fighting hell with each other.
We've been fighting Hollywood celebrities. I invited Ryan Reynolds to a street fight. He didn't show up, but we invited him, okay? So that was the thing.
Today's the day. Today's the day. This is the deciding factor of where is America headed. I have every belief in my bones that there are way more of us American patriots who love America, who want to keep it the way it's always been, than there will ever be the radical left that wants to completely demolish and destroy and reimagine America. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Your eyes aren't lying. Like, look at the crowds. Look at the crowds that Donald Trump is bringing in, you guys.
Again, the idea that crowd numbers somehow equates to votes, still baffling considering Trump and his supporters don't think coronavirus is serious, and Joe Biden supporters, or even if you wouldn't consider yourself a supporter, I wouldn't consider myself a Joe Biden supporter, but I did vote for him. We take coronavirus seriously, and they were intentionally having small get-togethers and gatherings. They weren't trying to have big rallies. This was explained to these people time and time again, and they never listened. Very frustrating. The Undercover Beast with 100 bits. Nothing to say. I just wanted to delay you for a moment so we could recover mentally for a few precious seconds. Well, I hope you enjoyed those few seconds.
Guys, I need you to take a deep breath. I need you to understand. It's going to be okay. We did this once in 2016 on a hope and a prayer.
Yeah, and you lost the popular vote. Funny how that works. You were also against Hillary Clinton, who a lot of people hate. Lord Necroj with 100 bits. Hey, Hannah, just got out of a D&D session where my necromancer barely survived. Time to relax with some Maga cope. Cool, I'm glad they survived. Good for you. Your beloved Dizzy says, hey, Hannah, if I could propose a cleanse. And then there's a link. Sure. Someone on Twitter. Happy belated birthday to this person, my forever beautiful, wonderful, gay, lesbian wife of my life. I was initially going to write a song for her, but I'm bad at music. But this was the next best thing. That's cute. It's very cute.
We didn't know what Donald Trump was going to do. We didn't know if he was going to be a good president or not. I remember literally saying, I'm going to roll my die on this outsider. Anyway. And maybe he'll be the worst president ever. I don't know. But I'm going to roll the die, and I'm willing to take my chances. I'm ready. I hope this guy does what he says. And it's been nothing but promises made, promises kept, America first, literally doing incredible things for every last person in this country. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for a repeat. I just can't actually believe it's here. Like, I really am having a hard time. Like, oh my God, it's happening. Tonight. It's just going to be so good. I don't care how late I am staying up. Yet last time, it was like 3 in the morning. I don't care.
You're not getting results for like 3 days. Chill out.
I really actually do believe there's going to be an answer tonight. I know a lot of people are like, I don't think so. I think it's going to be days. I don't know.
Who won the election? Let me look. It does appear Joe Biden has won the election. Fun fact.
As of right now in the camp, that there will be...
This was recorded the day of the election, yes.
...such a decisive, ginormous tsunami that hits the USA that they will have no option but to be like, yeah, Trump.
Here's the real cleanse, okay.
Well...
Oh, it's from Animaniacs. I can't play a clip from Animaniacs. Although it probably is funny. It's like a parody of Tucker Carlson, it looks like. But I can't play that. From the new Animaniacs.
He won. Yeah, he definitely did it. I can't wait for this ginormous ass whooping that's coming to the Democrats. I hope they understand after today how nobody wants socialism.
Question. Since Joe Biden won, does that... Even though Joe Biden isn't a socialist, by your own logic, does that mean Americans want socialism because Joe Biden won? Even though Joe Biden isn't a socialist? I'm just using your own logic here. Doom Smoothie, the 20 bits just got here. Glad to see conservatives losing their minds on this fine evening.
Nobody wants their extreme leftist agenda. Nobody wants to feel like we're in communist China. Nobody wants to...
What policies? I want to ask this woman. I want to talk to her and say, specifically, what policies that are part of Joe Biden's platform are similar to communist China? Name me 3 policies that Joe Biden has that you think are communist in nature. And then she won't be able to name any, and I'll say, okay, fine. Name 3 Joe Biden policies in general. And then she won't know any, because she doesn't know anything about Joe Biden's platform.
Backpedal. We want forward movement. We want a return to patriotism, a return to love of God and country. We want a return to normalcy. We want a return of just morals and values, family traditions. We want a return.
You basically want gay people to go back in the closet, and you want people who aren't white to shut the fuck up. Sorry. Nope.
To loving our freedoms and our liberties. Oh my God, I can't. This is just going to be good. I want this ass whooping, man. Like, I'm so ready. I want to see the tears. I'm going to be unblocking people.
Stone Corbell with 20 bits. We want to move forward. We want to return to normalcy. Does she know what words mean? She doesn't.
I have not blocked very many. The only people I've blocked are people who have outright been extremely disrespectful.
What's her Twitter like? Hold on. Let's see what her Twitter's been. I imagine she's on the conspiracy train. I'm guessing she doesn't think Trump lost the election, even though he did. Let's see, she's retweeting Donald Trump, retweeting Dinesh D'Souza. Time for a patriot prep talk or an ass whooping. Get coffee. I need to talk. And then it's, you know, she did a broadcast. She retweets Donald Trump. This is from the 19th.
Let me get situated here, hopefully. Hey. I feel like there's something weird. Calling it like I see it, and I'm ready to rant and rave about the plague today. So,
you gonna talk about Donald Trump losing the election?
Find me, Jennifer Waters with 2 T's on Facebook.
Yeah.
Second, but anyway. All right. Let's talk about the plague. So, I think you're kind of cute. Somebody should make like a trumpet with like Trump hair, and I would make that a shirt.
She's still on the Trump train.
Trumpets.
Lovely.
You know, and Republicans, conservatives, etc. We are selfish.
Yes, you are. You were right for once. She got something right. Yay!
Because we have been screwing everything up by refusing to wear masks.
Correct.
We have created this additional lockdown.
Yeah.
If we're all in this together, and yet, you know, some of the community doesn't care about human lives. They're more worried about chowing down with their family at Thanksgiving than they are
Saying things that are true in a sarcastic voice doesn't make it untrue. I don't know if you guys know that.
about actual human lives. Okay, so I saw a few posts like this yesterday, okay?
The Kraken was released several days ago. You're just beginning to see the signs.
Morning. I'm back. It's Wednesday. I'm feeling all sorts of good about things, but I still think this is too bright or something. Let's try that. Hi. It's nice to see your faces, though. Well, you know, your name. I was trying to live vicariously through them. It was literally glorious. Lydia. See, this is what I mean. Whoever this is on Twitter. Nope, there was only 15,000. You're full of shit. Believe the media. Okay, I hate reading comments. I really just do. I hate reading comments because it gets me off on these tangents. And I, like, deal with such losers who say shit on Twitter. I'm done.
Speaking of losers. Womp womp.
Done reading Twitter comments. The sun starts to go down. Okay, the sun starts to go down. And I already knew it. I already knew it was going to start to happen. It was going to start.
Whatever. It's just so strange to me that she... I just don't understand. I just don't understand.
Is your president, and if you like it or not.
This is the rapper, I think, that we talked about earlier. Yeah, Bryson Gray.
You wanna impeach him? I guess that's what you do when you can't beat him.
Who? What?
There's nothing
Trump,
funny about the
baby.
tools
That's
of
right.
Oh, that's the one we were literally watching. Dotaku Live with 25 bits. This shit is funny, but also genuinely frustrating because I know people like this. How can somebody be this stupid, willfully ignorant? Like, what a shitbag. I have been watching you and Jake for years, and I'm not any closer to wrapping my head around it. If it makes you feel better. I don't get it either.
To me, I can't wait. There's a couple of them. I can't wait to unblock them just so I can watch their page. I wish the people that have blocked me would unblock me too. Because trust me, I will be trying to find their pages and hope that they've unblocked me along the way. I can't wait. I literally can't wait. I had somebody last time wearing full-on pantsuits for their profile pictures, right? Like Hillary pantsuits. And
is she aware that pantsuits exist outside of Hillary Clinton wearing them? Like, people wear pantsuits. That doesn't make it a Hillary Clinton thing.
now remember, all day today, people are wearing their pearls to honor Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Clutch your pearls, baby, because it's getting ready to get good, okay? It's getting ready to get real good around here. Y'all
Accidentally correct again.
are going to be panicking. Oh, my God. There's so many racists in this country.
Oh, she's
Yeah, y'all
accidentally
gotta stay
right
home.
again.
It's
She's
real
so
scary.
good at being accidentally right. He's got an AOC video, but I'm not watching it. It's boring. I tried to check it out. It didn't look Chud watch worthy.
Out here, you know? Y'all, really, you should just never leave your house again. Just stay at home with your mask on, at home, by yourself. I think it's better that way, really. Stay with your pearls. Ruth would want it that way.
This woman seems insane. I said earlier, I think she's in a manic episode. It sounds like she's dealing with a manic episode.
Red Kingdom. What? Oh my God. It doesn't get any better. It does not get any better. I believe it. The only thing that is going to amp up this is watching the coverage tonight. Watching them lose their shit. Watching my timeline freak out. Oh God, I just can't. I can't. It's literally Christmas morning. I had to make myself take a Benadryl last night so I could sleep. I mean, you gotta sleep. You gotta sleep so that you can, like, rev up for today. I mean, I'm not as young as I used to be, right? Like pulling all-nighters with drinking and stuff. Like, this doesn't happen. I'm old now, right? So we had to rest up, you know? Oh my God, it's totally game on. I'm probably going to blast Maga Boys with Bryson and Tyson and Kelvin. I'm probably gonna like blast Maga music today. Cashley Kelly has the Democrat Plantation song. We have a few, right? What's it? Losa Alexander, I believe that's his name. Boy, he's got some great ones. He's got a Nancy Pelosi one that is so epic. I don't know if y'all have heard it, but I need to find it. Is it Losa? Is that how you say it? I think I'm messing that up. Damn. Anyway, I'm going to be blasting Maga music. I'm going to be blasting Red Kingdom. My daughter's like, I think that guy came out and said that he doesn't really like that Trump is using that song. He's not a Trump supporter. I go, and we care why? Red Kingdom, what?
I'm 95% sure this is a Manic episode at this point.
Bad for him. He should have made it Blue Kingdom then if he didn't like it. Game on. Game on. That's all I can say. You guys, we're going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be magical today. I will be maybe even live multiple times today. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Should be overwhelming to you. Like, you should understand, because listen, I really believe it. I've told you guys this before. Trump doesn't need the black vote. He won in 2016 with 8%. He doesn't need the black vote. But I promise you, the people who have woken up, right? They have awakened. The Hispanics in like Miami-Dade, right? Like these people who have awakened to the idea that the Democrats have done nothing for them. They promise, and do nothing.
I'll agree with her on that. That is a problem, and I think that's one of the reasons Democrats are in trouble. If they don't start embracing the actual left-leaning part of the party that wants to put forward and introduce policies that will help working class people like they should, be a party that actually helps people, you know, who work for a living, then they're fucked. Anyway, Maria 3585, Maga in denial, and then there's a link. Let me take a look. Hold on.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Limequine, thank you for following, by the way. Oh, and Scaldmare Erica Live with 100 bits. My therapist once explained a manic episode to me. She's checking every box except for heightened sexual activity because I don't think she's being horny on Maine. I mean, that could be a thing that's happening not on camera, but who knows?
That's right, capitalistic propaganda.
Just gonna play or no? Hello? Play? Pause? Play? Maybe if I skip ahead a little bit? I'll refresh. There we go.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Dare to Beam,
this is
thanks
your
for
Monday
following.
afternoon pep talk, and it looks like I'm going to have...
Hey, you know what would be a good idea? If you're going to film videos in your car, which I don't think you should do in the first place. It's not something I do. I don't think it's something anyone should do, at least not while you're moving. Like, if you're parked, whatever. But, like, while you're driving, you shouldn't be taking video if you're holding it. I don't think you should be doing it even if you're not holding it, because I understand. I've been doing this for a long time. I know that when you're thinking about things and trying to put forward, you know, whatever topic you're talking about in a coherent manner, your brain is at least somewhat focused on that. It gets hard to do other motor, you know, activities. It's almost a pun. Motor. I meant more like just motor as in movement, but also car. But also doing this on top of it isn't helping. So get a thing to hold your phone. At the very least, if you refuse to not, you know, not film videos while driving. But this is a Republican, so they don't give a shit about public safety.
To secure this camera a little more. I hope
Okay, she did put it on a thing. At least we got that going for her, which is nice.
that's okay. How's everybody doing? It's a beautiful day here. Look, it says 69 in the car, but I think it's about 75 outside today.
What is this accent? 75 in the car.
Here in Massachusetts.
Oh, yep, that'll do it. She's around the Boston area. She's driving a feckin' car. She's wicked smart.
So I just wanted to remind you
There's nothing funny about the tools of
Phosphophyllite with 69 bits, nice.
that President Trump did win his re-election.
He didn't. He did not.
And it will be proven. And we just have to be patient. Hello, Elizabeth and Wilma and Annalisa. How's everybody doing? I hope you haven't had to snap that elastic too much on your wrist. It is a gorgeous day here in Massachusetts. So ignore the trolls. Ignore the trolls. Although I have one question for the trolls. When President Trump is announced the winner, and he will be.
What does the map look like? Map looks something like this. Yeah. Yeah.
Will you be rioting in the streets? That's what I want to know. Will you be rioting in the streets? Good. Yes, President Trump fired the Secretary of Defense. Awesome. Awesome.
They literally... by the way, I totally understand how Hitler rose to power now, by the way. Like, I think, like everyone, you kind of wonder, even though it's explained to you when you're growing up in, like, history class, how it happened. At least part of you is like, how are people, like, cheering on, you know, these horrible totalitarian actions? And then you see this and you're like, oh, okay. Contextually, I get it now. There are some people who are just crazy and who don't care about the morals or implications of any given action as long as it means more power for their perceived side. So it doesn't matter that Trump trying to install loyalists is clearly totalitarian, fascist, and horrifying. As long as it's someone they perceive as their ally, they find these things to be justifiable and good. It's fucked up. Lord Necraj Z with 20 bits. Hey, Hannah, have you heard of Ben Bernard's comedy sketches? No, I have not.
So, ignore the trolls. No, Linda, I think that's great. Linda said, great haircut. I did it myself. I actually did it myself. Was it yesterday? Or the day before? The day before. In the morning, I did it myself. I did it myself. Just I have a pair of scissors that I purchased at Sally Beauty about 5 years ago. They were $10. They were hairdressing scissors. So I did it myself.
I bought these feckin' scissors at Sally's Beauty Supply. Cut my feckin' hair.
Cut my hair. But President Trump will be...
Tired Park with 20 bits. I've literally had someone ask me, if there's no fraud, then why did Trump suddenly install loyalists in the Pentagon? It's like he knows something we don't. I hate people so much. I hate people so much.
Announced the winner. He did win his re-election.
Trump did not win re-election.
And I hope that the people who are watching, the trolls, I hope you have a good talking to yourself and all your little troll friends to make sure that you won't be out in the streets.
Why are Maga people so happy? It's called delusion.
Rioting and looting and murdering. So lots of bumps here. And so this isn't as secure as it normally is. So I just wanted to give you, thank you, Vicky. I just wanted to give you that pep talk to make sure. And you know what I think is interesting? This is incredible. I think it was Friday. Was it Friday or Saturday?
Oh, but what specifically? They think that because Donald Trump has been lying to them and saying that he won the election, they believe him because it's a cult. And if the cult leader says he won the election, then he won the election, even though literally no evidence points in that direction. That would be why.
When I gave the pep talk, maybe it was Saturday. And I said that everybody should stop watching Fox News. Now, it seems like ever since I said that, everybody's saying it. Everybody is saying it. Stop watching Fox News. I deleted the app on my phone. I don't watch it. I won't watch it on the internet. Just get rid of it because they'll see those numbers plummet. They will see the numbers plummet. And Ava said, Diana, is it true about the watermark? And I heard that it's true. Steve Pachenik reported that it was true. Charlie Wood reported that it was true. But also look into the Dominion voting systems. Now, on my Facebook page, it was posted this morning. Brian, my producer, posted it. And I'm going to encourage all of you to listen to it. It's the podcast from this morning's Washington expose with Larry Ward and Carter Clues. Listen to it. It's about 55 minutes long. 55 minutes long. People ask me, Diana, where do you get your news? Listen to the Washington expose. It's on there right now. Go to my Facebook page.
Phosphophyllite with 69 bits. I'm actually curious how much their numbers dropped. That would be a good way to see how many cultists are that. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
know any concrete numbers in terms of downturn from viewership.
It's the next post after the pinned post, which is the...
Also, even if you have the direct numbers, I don't think it would be a 1-to-1, because certainly I'm sure there are some extreme, Trump people who have completely written off Fox News as like leftist media, which is hilarious. But because they reported the reality that Joe Biden won the presidency, they think they're leftist media, and they jump ship to like One America News or Newsmax. Although many of them have also jumped ship from Newsmax now that Newsmax called, stuff for Biden. But I would imagine a lot of the downturn in Fox's ratings are... For one thing, I saw an article that was talking about Fox's ratings are down from 3 weeks ago or whatever. This was like a week ago I read this article. It was from a right-wing news source. And it was like, well, yeah, they're down from 3 weeks ago because when I read this article, 3 weeks ago was the election. News viewership is always really high, really close to an election. Once it's over, it goes down anyway. But secondly, Trump lost, right? And even if you're not one of these crazy people who believe, wild accusations of fraud with no evidence, you probably don't watch the news, right? Like if Joe Biden lost the election, I wouldn't want to be looking at the news either, right? You don't want to watch the news when you're losing, when your political ideology has lost in one way or another on the national stage. You don't feel like watching the news or being as engaged in current events. So some of it's probably people jumping ship to like One America News, but some of it's also just people not wanting to watch news at all.
The video from the Chinese Communist Party flag raising on Boston City Hall Plaza over a year ago. So that's pinned to the top. And I believe the next post is the Washington expose from this morning. So listen to it. Listen to what they talk about, the Dominion system and how it's connected to Nancy Pelosi's family, to Dianne Feinstein, to George Soros.
It's always Soros with these people.
So listen to that. You'll get a lot of information from that. Also, just to let everybody know that on Facebook, the only thing I can do, I can comment, I can go live, and I can create events. But I can't even post. I can't even make a post. So that's why you don't see my Good Morning Patriots post. And I can't share. So yeah, Patriot networks like Patriot Soapbox. You're welcome, Nellie. But I'm going to encourage all of you. There are 256 people watching right now. Go to that post on my Facebook page, Washington Expose, and listen to it. Listen to it and all the connections. This is why everything that's happening is wonderful. It's wonderful. We never would have known this, right?
53,000 people follow her on Facebook, for the record.
Right? So this is just part of the plan. It's part of what had to happen in this war to reclaim our country and our states. And you know what? It's going to be very, very interesting because the vote is off here in Massachusetts and it's off in New Magashire. And I spoke to somebody a little while ago. Apparently, they're having some sort of recount in New Magashire. I have to get that information. They need a recount in Massachusetts because the numbers don't make sense. They don't make sense. So this is my daily reminder to remind all of you to remind all of you to ignore the trolls like Jeffrey. He's a troll and he's triggered. And don't go down that rabbit hole of depression and anxiety. I'm still getting people calling me, texting me, Diana, I'm sick to my stomach. There's no need for you to be sick to your stomach. There is no need. This is what had to happen. This had to happen.
It didn't, though. If Donald Trump was going to win, he would have won. He didn't. You're just coping.
So many swamp creatures are going to be drained once the fraud, the election fraud, is exposed.
We read the legal document earlier from Pennsylvania. The Trump campaign isn't making any legal claims of election fraud whatsoever.
So many. It's going to clean house. And I am so happy that Charlie Baker, the fake, the globalist, I don't want to even call him a fake Republican, because remember, they all work together. But I am so excited that the governor of Massachusetts took the bait. He took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. He announced at the beginning of the week before the election, before Tuesday, that he was going to sign another executive order, basically shutting us down.
Lord Necraj Z with 20 bits. I'm a slapper if she says Maga-chusets again.
Telling the people of Massachusetts that they had to wear a mask outside, even if they were socially distanced. That they can't even have more than 10 people in their own home.
Honestly, 10 people's too fucking many in the first place. What is wrong with these people?
In their own home. He fell for it. He's gonna go down with the rest of them.
These people are out of their goddamn minds. Okay. That's enough of those people. Alright, this is probably the last thing we'll cover today. So, Razor Fist has a new video called Body Bags for Black Pills, a rant. This is from 2 days ago. I assume this is him basically saying, all you people who are saying the election is over, how dare you? How dare you talk about reality as it stands? I'm gonna be mad about it. So let's see what he has to say.
Many a Galaxy Brain Turbo take has been proffered in the past week, but among the worst is the argument that even if the election was stolen, we should just move on, because at least that way, we might get to keep the Senate.
I've never heard anyone make that argument because the election wasn't stolen. You lost. I know you're really mad about it, and you're about to say a lot of angry words very quickly because you think that makes you seem more legitimate.
There's nothing funny
but
about
no,
the tools of capitalism.
Donald Trump lost the election. That's why you should accept it, because he lost fair and square, not because of any other bullshit. I don't even know who you're hearing that shit from. Dakota Live, thank you for, or sorry, Dotaku Live, thank you for subscribing.
It's the only psyop you can spot from space, and when Neil, the bullshit merchant of Venice, Bortz is offering it up, you know it's capital BS. Time now for Republicans in Congress to get off their ass.
I don't even know who Neil Bortz is. Let me look. Neil, what is this? Bortz. American author. Neil Bortz is an American author, former attorney, and former conservative radio host. His nationally syndicated talk show, The Neil Bortz Show, which ended in 2013, was carried throughout the United States. Attorney, 43-year-old talk show host, U.S. and Georgia Radio Hall of Fame, #1, New York Times bestselling author, rude and offensive podcast. So what, he's saying something along the lines of you should just accept that Trump won, or Trump lost, because Trump did lose? Sure. Let's see what he says on this. Time now for Republicans in Congress to get off their asses and repudiate Trump's actions. America is going to depend on a GOP House and Senate to preserve liberty. Ain't gonna happen if they don't stand up now. So this person, while I disagree with them politically, is making a reasonable position here. They're saying people in the Senate and the House need to stand up and speak against Trump behaving like a big man baby because he's kind of hurting what the Republican reputation right now. Those same GOP House and Senate people are going to have to govern for the next, 2 years at the very least. So they should be able to stand up now and say, hey, this is your lame duck session. You lost. Deal with it, right? Instead of caving into this tantrum that Trump is throwing. That's a reasonable position.
There's nothing funny about the tools
Of course, reasonability is not allowed in the Republican Party now, so here we have Razor Fist shit-talking him. Maria3585, thank you for subscribing, and Title Bell with 20 bits. Hey, Hannah, how's your day going? Did you see this? It's Chef Kiss Delicious. Let me look. Holy Kool-Aid, after Trump loses the election, evangelicals go nuts, pastors and prophets incorrectly prophesized Trump would win the election and got a second term. When Trump prophecies failed, the evangelicals, some of whom sit on Trump's Evangelical Advisory Committee. Trump has an Evangelical Advisory Committee? That's gross. Absolute ballistic meltdown, going into denial. I have seen some of this.
Their voting day, whatever it takes under your kingdom, oh God, to bring it all in line.
Jalen Jean, you put too much work into this typing for me to not read it. Maga Bama, Magalaska, Magazona, Magar and Markansas, Magafornia, Magarado, Magakit, Magaware, Magarida, it goes on like that. That's pretty amazing. Good job.
Bring it all in line. Bring it all in line with the will of God. Strike and 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 strike until you have victory. For every enemy that is aligned against you, let there be that we would strike.
Maybe we'll watch this after we do the Razor Fist thing. If not, I'll save it for next Chud Watch.
And repudiate Trump's actions. America's gonna depend on a GOP House and Senate to preserve liberty. Ain't gonna happen if they don't stand up now. Hey, thanks for laying that 11D chess on me. But quick question, Professor Frink. If you tell the, around 51% of the electorate who in a recent poll described the election results as profoundly fucking fishy, that their vote didn't matter enough to investigate this time, and the nearly 100...
Razor Fist, there already have been investigations, there have been many court cases, there have been recounts, there's been audits. No irregularities have been found, even the Trump campaign themselves haven't alleged fraud in court because there's no evidence of it. So I understand that our Republicans who've been taken in by Trump's BS about fraud, I know they feel a certain way about it, but as it turns out, Ben Shapiro, I think, said this, facts don't care about your feelings, and if you feel that you've been disenfranchised even though you haven't, I'm sorry you feel that way, I really do, but your feelings are inaccurate. There's been no fraud. The Trump campaign themselves haven't even alleged that in court because there's no evidence. So maybe get your feelings in check and rejoin the rest of us in reality.
100% of registered Republicans who believe it's an outright fraud? Who the lemon fresh fuck is gonna ride to your rescue in the runoff? The winged hussars? It sure as shit won't be the Republican voters, champ.
Wouldn't it be beautiful if Donald Trump, throwing this tantrum and Republicans just completely ignoring it like the spineless bitches they are, completely fucked up their Georgia runoff stuff, and the Democrats ended up with slight control in the Senate because of it? Because if we won both the Georgia runoffs, then I think it would be 50-50, and then Kamala Harris would be the tie-breaking vote. So that'd be fun.
Biden benefits from the only voting bloc that's closer to the grave than he is. What mere mortals would be willing to push a...
What are you talking about? Young people favor Joe Biden. What? Are we just saying lies now? But as long as we say them very quickly, then no one will call me out.
Bra swap button for you cunts, let alone traverse their own cities to cast a vote for a venal shitbag who told them their vote ain't worth a bead of brow sweat to ascertain the election's actual fucking validity. Decades upon ass-pounding decades of sad sack pseudocons is what gave you Donald Trump, and your only answer now is act more like the sad sack pseudocons? Here's my counteroffer, you cunt. If you throw my vote out, I throw your fucking party out with it.
Your vote hasn't been thrown out. Your vote was counted, Razor Fist. It just turns out more people voted for the guy you didn't vote for. Losing an election isn't having your vote thrown out. It's losing an election. How many elections have you even voted in if this is how you view elections? Jesus Christ. Tired Park with 40 bits. Support those runoff campaigns. Phone bank and donate to Fair Fight. Yeah. Do those things.
Understand this, Mr. Turtle in the 45th Do-Nothing Brigade. If you don't fight here, if you go quietly or continue to sidestep away from the candidate that made you momentarily relevant the past 4 years, you sell my vote down the river in the name of establishment exigence. The moment the sound waves from that fucking gavel reach my ear holes at the commencement of you floppy-jowled fuckbags returning to business as usual in mid-January, we break into the Bush family mausoleum, give H-Dub a titty twister, and install a rotisserie in John McCain's coffin, because he'll fucking need it for the reckoning to come.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
He gets so mad. It's his whole persona, and it's kinda delicious. Harry K5 with 20 bits. All the MAGA copers saying they won't vote for the GOP if they don't fight is hilarious, and I would be laughing if both Georgia seats are taken because of it. I don't think it'll make a difference. I wish it did. I'm right there with you in wishing it did, but I don't think it'll make a difference. I genuinely think the hardcore Trump supporters who support Trump over the Republican Party in general, I think they're loud, but I don't think there's as many as we might think. I would say they probably make up about 30% of the Republican Party. I don't even know if they'll stay home, like in Georgia, because they're mad or something. I don't think that's the case. I think Donald Trump will get behind the Georgia runoff campaigns and rally for the Republicans there. And I think they'll vote for them. We'll see what happens. Title Bell with 20 bits. I'm not saying this guy is a douche. I'm just going to point out he's wearing sunglasses indoors. All of you do with that information what you will. He is. It's his persona. It's what he does.
If you think Trump calling McCain the coward collaborator and fake fucking war hero he was stiff, bitch, he was the buffer between you and a citizenry who wouldn't piss on his backstabbing political corpse to extinguish a fire. Trump wasn't merely the roadblock between the establishment and their globo-collectivist endgame. He was also the firewall between the establishment and...
Calling Republicans...
Anything but inspect this temple of capitalism?
Oh, Bad Bunny! Hey, thank you. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. We are watching angry MAGA people deal with the election. So welcome. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a good stream.
Fucking us. This ain't...
Everyone here, by the way, if you haven't, go check out Bad Bunny. Can someone, one of the mods, can you post maybe a link to Bad Bunny's Twitch channel in the chat? Thanks.
Incitement either, it's a warning. Putting aside the fact that our country is more on edge than Alex Jones watching a 24-hour loop of Red Dawn while freebasing diet pills and pixie sticks.
My superpower is being honest. I'll eat your ass. I will.
There's nothing funny about the tools
combat
of capitalism.
Vic the Victim, thank you for gifting a sub.
Model. Optimum self-sufficiency.
Probably the leader.
Self-governing democracies, without exception, fail to fucking survive without provably legitimate elections. And while Democrats on the surface appear to regard the instances of voter fraud to be so minor Biden is currently leaning in to sniff them, behind closed doors, in private...
Hello, Bad Bunny.
I find they'll confidentially admit the totals in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Georgia are sketchier than life drawing with Michael J. Fox. About 5 seconds before they even more loudly concede they don't give a flock of flying fucks. I warned you all that thanks to the heightened, stratified socialist rhetoric of Antifa...
Who's the former high school fedora wearer you were watching? This guy on YouTube, his channel goes by The Rageaholic, but he used to go by Razor Fist. I think he still goes by that. The channel is The Rageaholic, but his, like, persona is called, you know, The Razor Fist or something. Very edgy. The hats are for, when I do hype trains, I put hats on, by the way, if you're wondering what's up with the weird hats. So, he's mad. He's basically mad that Republicans are not getting behind Donald Trump's fraud claims. Don't get me wrong, they're not actively fighting them. In fact, there are GOP members who are actively helping those fraud claims, unsubstantiated, by the way. We read the Pennsylvania lawsuit that went through the Pennsylvania Supreme Court today. We read the court ruling, and even in there, Rudy Giuliani, in those court cases, was not alleging fraud, because there's no evidence of fraud. But anyway, these people are all very mad, and they're mad that Republicans aren't giving in to Donald Trump's man-baby temper tantrum. They're certainly not stopping it. They're enabling him by doing nothing. But people like Razorfist are mad that they aren't, like, in lockstep behind Donald Trump, even though he's a loser, who's not going to have any political power in, like, a month and a half. Thank you, everyone, for following, by the way. Oh, we're on a hype train. Sweet. I'll get more hats. So, level 2 with hype train complete. Sweet. Space Cake 94, thank you for subscribing with a 7-month streak. Thanks for keeping me sane this year, Hannah. Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Let me see if there's anything else I missed. Freezer Burn with 100 bits. Choo Choo Hype Train. Miss K's with 50 bits. Freezer Burn with 100 bits. Read that one. Yeah, okay. I think I'm caught up.
And others, we were catapulting towards this fraudulent eventuality, and perk an ear, because for what it's worth, I'm warning you again. We started out at "Cope harder, dude lost," promptly progressed to ever more angry assertions that Trump should just go home.
No, y'all are still coping. Let me explain. Okay, so we've been doing the cope streams. Jade Skywalker 85 with 100 bits, thank you, and Chase the Black Cat with 100 bits. Right wing tears are so yummy in my tummy. Yes, they are. They're amazing. So it started with cope harder because it was funny for like the first week, and I fully admit this. Like we continue to do Maga cope streams because they're a lot of fun, but they've progressively gotten less and less fun over the last couple weeks because it went from on, you know, the day that the election was called for Joe Biden to like, oh, haha, isn't it funny seeing these people who spent the last 4 years telling people on the left, oh, haha, cry harder, lefties, facts don't care about your feelings. All of a sudden the script was flipped and they were crying all the same. It was quite fun. Enreith, thank you for 180 bits, and WTF 4174, thank you for your tier 1 subscription. So it was funny in an ironic way, and it was a little bit of comeuppance. Everyone likes that kind of story. However, as it's continued for like a month, we're almost a month into the Maga cope at this point, it's gotten pathetic and mostly frustrating. It's very frustrating seeing, I don't know, 30% of the American population become completely divorced from reality. It's something we've contended with for the last 4 years, but more or less we've been able to kind of avoid it when possible. We certainly have to look at Trump every day, but if you're someone on the left, you don't necessarily have to engage with these people. But the past month, the temper tantrum they've been throwing along with their orange daddy has been fucking ridiculous, and everyone has had to hear about it every single day. So why don't you just stop it and learn to take the L? There's no evidence of fraud. There just isn't. There just isn't. So get over it. Be an adult person for once. That'd be great. Skooma Addict, thank you for 100 bits. 74 Quinn 74, thank you for 50 bits. And I think that's it.
And as sure as I sit here, we will ultimately arrive at, all right, the election may have been stolen, but thank God it fucking was. Mark it down, bitch. Like Bill.
No, I don't think the election was stolen, nor does anyone who's on the left. I don't know who you're supposedly talking to on the left who thinks the election was stolen, but they would also be very stupid if they thought that. They would have to be very, very stupid to completely ignore the complete lack of evidence. Christian American, thank you for gifting 3 tier 1 subs. Marcus Drake, thank you for subscribing with a 3-month streak.
Bill Clinton at the first sign of resistance. It's coming. Folks, there may be some genuinely self-deceived sorts out there who legitimately believe Biden could pull a higher percentage of the black vote in Detroit than Obama. All fucking 5 of them. The rest are well...
People hate Donald Trump. And I feel like this is something that people like this are... He talks to Dave Rubin. That would make sense. Lord Necroj with 40 bits, level 4, y'all. People on the right, at least people who are hardcore Trump supporters, the same kind of Trump supporters that have been denying that Joe Biden won the election, and they're just flabbergasted by the fact that Joe Biden has gotten more votes than Barack Obama. I genuinely think they don't understand how much people viscerally hate Donald Trump, for good reason. Donald Trump's a huge piece of shit. Like, regardless of whether or not you agree with Republican policies, I hope you don't, if you have a brain, but like, Donald Trump is grating every single day. Every single day, it's a new thing when Donald Trump is the president. It's a new thing to look at and go, oh, God, what's happening today? People hate Donald Trump. People not only hate him as an individual, but they hate what they've done to their lives by making them have to, every day, turn on the news and be horrified by another new low that we've sunk to. So people have come out to vote for Joe Biden, including myself, not because they like Joe Biden, but because they hate Donald Trump. It's very easy to understand. 74 Quinn 74 with 50 bits. Quinity hype. Ooh, the Quinity's here. Nice.
Aware of the wonkiness at play here. They just don't give a shit so long as the commander-in-Cheeto goes bye-bye in the process. And
no, and I've expressed this before. If there was evidence of actual voter fraud, I would be on the same train of like, hey, this is suspicious, and this should be stopped. Because I believe in democracy, right? I have principles, unlike a lot of people on the right. It's not about who wins, I think it's about the process being secure and correct. But there's no evidence of that. Once again, you're just ranting because you're mad Trump lost. WTF 4174, thank you for the 100 bits. Leela Duder, thank you for the 29 bits. And Stephen J. Neptune Man with 20 bits. Honestly, as much as the past 4 years have been hyper-political, 2020 was a whole other level, and that was because we saw how people's political views affected how they felt about Black Lives Matter and COVID-19. Yeah, it's been a nightmare.
And that is a dangerous indulgence among friends, let alone enemies, which by arguing my vote doesn't matter enough to at least double-check, you've made oh so many more
There have been recounts. In all the states where Trump could get a recount, he has gotten a recount. There have also been audits. No irregularities have been found.
Motherfuck stain. And in case you weren't paying attention this afternoon, the Rudy has no evidence claim died a horrific shrieking death before millions, appropriately in the town of Gettysburg, just today.
Oh, they're talking about the bullshit thing. This was a thing that happened in, I don't even remember. This is in Pennsylvania somewhere, yeah. The Republicans went and had what they called a hearing. It wasn't a hearing. It was all Republicans, and they went to a hotel to listen to Rudy talk about claims of election fraud. Meanwhile, and we read the court briefing earlier from the Supreme Court, meanwhile, Rudy is also in the actual court system of Pennsylvania, specifically saying they are not making claims of fraud to the court because they know they can't evidence this to the standard that would be necessary for a court case. But meanwhile, they're over here in this hotel room putting on a big show for these Republicans with no Democrats in attendance to question any of this, by the way, in order to try and basically make a kangaroo court where they can be like, here are allegations of fraud, hooray, believe us. It was nonsense. It was absolute nonsense, and the reason that they did this in a hotel and not under an official capacity is because if you were to hold a hearing that was actually official, then you have to be under oath. And if you lie under oath, guess what? That's perjury. But Rudy Giuliani doesn't want to do that, so hotel ballroom it is. Thank you to whatever just happened. Nodat, thank you for following.
What that indicates is there is a spike in loaded votes, 337,000 plus or minus of some votes that were added in there in one big batch. So
they're still making the claim that, like, oh my God, all these votes for Biden came in. Yeah, again, we've explained the mail-in voting thing. We've explained the mail-in voting thing to you guys many, many times. Donald Trump spent the entire year shit-talking mail-in voting, and then Republicans are pretending to be surprised when Democrats are the ones who have most of the mail-in votes. Doom Smoothie with 20 bits. Have to dip out to watch a stream for a friend of mine. Have some parting bits. Thank you for coming. Skooma Addict, thank you for 100 bits.
that was an anomaly in the reporting. Normally you would expect to see a smooth curve going up, not any big spikes. That's kind of what...
That's untrue when you're counting mail-in voting in a very strange election like this one, where, again, Donald Trump told all his supporters not to vote by mail.
But what Greg was talking about, the anomalies of loading and uploading those
NetLag
votes.
USA, thank you
so
for
that
following.
Big spike that
XY
occurs there
and
is a prime indicator
Rocks.
of
Thank you for following.
voting.
And that's 604,000 votes.
Can we get back to Yell Guy?
The Kraken may indeed make a bet. Look, I like Sidney Powell, and release the Kraken may indeed make a better bit of merchandise, but the more mundane, provable fucking fraud, the kind of wash in statistical impossibilities, timed ballot dumps, and disappearing ballot signatures, is far more nefarious.
Which is why they never argued any of this in court, and why they just lost their Pennsylvania Supreme Court case, specifically due to lack of evidence.
Why try this case in the media when you could just as easily take it to the courts, you ask? Because ain't no jury gonna see this case.
Oh, is that where we've moved the goalposts to now? We didn't show you evidence in court because the courts are corrupt! Oh, okay, cool. Can anyone else see the evidence then? No? Oh, weird. Stephen J. Neptune, man, with 20 bits. This dude is like Spoonie's evil alt-right twin, right? Am I the only one who sees this? I see it. I see what you're saying. Cyanide, thank you for following.
A judge will, in most cases, an elected judge, meaning a more politically minded motherfucking judge, which in deep blue burgs like Philly and fucking Detroit means Democrats. Behind closed doors, the bitches in black robes can play Pol Pot away from prying eyes. But if you make the public aware of the evidence first, you preemptively put...
They haven't put forward any evidence. All they did was look at charts and go, this seems sus, completely disregarding the fact that ballots were coming in later that were entirely mail-in votes that were going to favor Democrats. It's not sus. It's completely explained by the context of the election, but y'all are pretending that it doesn't exist because you're sad that your orange daddy lost. I know, losing an election sucks. I totally understand losing an election sucks. I voted in how many presidential elections now? 1, 2, I've only voted in 3 presidential elections in my life, but sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. And it sucks when you lose, but you get over it, right? Because you're an adult, and that's how the electoral process works. In a democracy, sometimes the things that you want happen because you vote with the majority, sometimes you don't, and you deal with that. You don't start trying to do a coup because you lost.
Put the judges on fucking blast. Suddenly, they have to play the tin pot tyrant in front of rolling video cameras, and they're...
Many of the judges are Republican appointees. Some of them are Trump appointees, and they've still thrown these cases out. Marcus Drake with 100 bits. Razor Fist may be an idiot, but Pennsylvania needs to stop electing its judges, to be fair. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that being an issue. I don't think elected judges sounds like the most impartial thing, but I don't know. I don't live in Pennsylvania.
Confidence turns to strict...
Although we did elect, there were judges on my ballot, so Michigan must do the same.
Constitutionalism in 5 seconds fucking flat. This is a natural consequence of the left spending half a century using the courts as a cocksock. What did I say in my stench from the bench rant, what, over a year ago? We can roto-root the fucking swamp, toss out the foreign infiltrators, purge lobby...
The foreign infiltrators, wow, that's... revealing of his character?
...in special fucking interests. But if we fail to reckon with the corrupt courts, we lose it all anyway. Rudy Giuliani, it appears, is officially fucking aware of this fact. And given that this is the same cat who 3-point tackled the New York fucking mob, may God have mercy on the fraudster's souls. But folks, he can do everything imaginable right. And still lose this. We watched the media reframe Trump's audit effort as sour grapes, but the truth is, this...
Because they are? Nonetheless, he's gotten the recounts and audits that he's wanted. Found no irregularities. You're still mad. Chill out.
Ain't about Trump anymore. Trump, and even Rudy, will not save us. Only we can do that. For all the Redditard's claims to the contrary, Trump is not a dictator. He is the head of one of 3 branches of government. This is on you now, motherfuckers. There are more of us than them.
No, there aren't. That's just objectively untrue. There are fewer registered Republicans than Democrats in this country. And even in this election, more people voted for Joe Biden by a factor of, I don't know, there were, what, 6 million more votes? Even in 2016, Trump lost the popular vote. Why do Republicans think that they're the majority when literally every metric we have to measure that says that they're the minority? They're a loud minority. That's it.
So March, given that Trump got many more millions of votes and Dems use any day ending in Y as an excuse to mass protest, when we turn up in bigger crowds by a lot, The Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Arizona fraud machines will have a hell of a lot of explaining to do.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Outside of literally violently overthrowing the government, which if you're proposing that, then you're gonna get fucking reported. Not only to YouTube, but to the FBI. But what do you think's gonna happen? There's no evidence of fraud. There hasn't been. That's why it hasn't been presented in the courts.
Take it from the guy wearing aviators indoors. Optics matter.
I look like a douchebag, so trust me.
The media can demoralize, the black pillars and bedwetters can cuck and run and wax strategic while sobbing into their shitloads of mainstream media cash. None of it changes the objective reality. They can only take it if you give it to them. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.
Oh, he's so cringe. Is this guy gonna do this for the rest of his life? Like, is he gonna be, you know, 60 years old and wearing a leather jacket and pretending to be punk while simping for right-wing authoritarians? Because it's already pathetic. It's not getting any less pathetic moving forward, let's be real.
The ground, for you will give us victory, God. I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of shouting and singing. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. The Lord says it is done. The Lord says it is done. The Lord says it is done.
We must not let the devil have the inheritance.
Pastor, author, prophet
of this country. The angel of the Lord is going to go forth for America. Why? Because the president can't fight now. You get what I'm saying?
Leaked footage of Razor yelling at his girlfriend. Does anyone have a link to that?
He can't do it, so the Lord is sending his angel.
Dr. White 94, 20 bets conservative punk is an oxymoron. What part of maintaining the status quo fits with the ethos of punk, right?
For I hear victory, 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 victory in the corridors of heaven.
Oh, if I start over, it starts with prophecy stuff? Okay.
Don't need to.
We'll watch the prophecies and then I'll probably raid someone. I don't know who.
Lord, Joe Biden don't need to be president. And just like this, just like if you'd answered me, he said he won't.
Will President Trump, from what God is showing you, win his second term?
Yes, it is for sure, Sid.
The funny thing is, with the vast majority of presidents, making a prediction that an incumbent president will win their re-election isn't even an impressive prediction, but they still managed to be wrong. It's pretty amazing.
That God wants President Trump in.
God has already sealed the results of this election. He has sealed it in heaven.
Tracy, is President Trump going to have a second term?
Well, it's the same thing, similar to Kevin, yes.
I want to say without question, Trump is going to win the election.
Trump will.
Oh boy, Tucker White 94, 20 bets. I love this about Christians. They screech about all the things that are wrong and something must be done, and what's their solution? Pray.
He'll win. He will be president of the United States. He will sit in that office for 4 more years, and God will have his way in this country.
The Lord said to me, I am going to give your president a second win.
Whoa! In the third dream, he said, I need for you to be my running mate for my second election. And the Lord said, because what I intend to do through him, it will take 2 terms to do. And I need for you to run with him in the Spirit to see that everything is removed out of the way that would hinder that, so that he is not only finishes this term, but is reelected for the second term and can fulfill the mandates of God upon his life.
You said, this one that I shall raise up from New York, I will give him 2 terms.
God's in control. He controls everything, and I believe that involves Donald Trump being president for the next 4 years.
Will it be an 8-year presidency?
Absolutely.
Tiger White 94 with 20 bits. Either these people are full of shit and know nothing, or God is just a hell of a troll. I'm gonna go with the first one.
Absolutely, we will.
You're sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure about that.
Tommy Real Pro, thanks for following.
He is the one.
Joe Biden's going to win this electoral vote.
Joe Biden is the winner in Vermont. Joe Biden will win Virginia's 13 electoral votes.
Joe Biden, he is the projected winner.
Joe Biden is the apparent winner.
Joe Biden as the winner.
Joe Biden prevailing in the state of Georgia. Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, the projected winner of Illinois.
Side note, I am so ready for Joe Biden to get sworn in so we can stop with the Maga cope and get to criticizing Joe Biden. That'll be nice. Weirdly, that is going to be a respite for me compared to the Maga shit. That'll be nice.
Joseph R. Biden Jr. is elected the 46th president of the United States, winning the White House and denying President Trump a second term.
Well, ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha. Ha, 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 ha.
Are you kidding me? Let me tell you something. Every Christian, every pastor out there that voted for Joe Biden last night, you have brought a curse upon yourself and your family, your children, and your children's children down to the third and fourth generation, and you need to repent.
These people are evil. I don't think you guys understand. They're evil. You vote these liberal leftists in and they worship the devil. They're evil. You talking about the Illuminati? They are the Illuminati. They're evil, wicked people. This is who they are. They need to go to jail.
Sarah Haas, thank you for following.
Ever, for the rest of their lives. But the day is coming. You can't test God for too long.
Joe Biden is not the president-elect. He never will be the president of the United States. I'm telling you, I promise you, with full, complete assurance and opinionated authority, Donald Trump won by a landslide. Quit freaking out. Quit fretting. I'm betting the farm on this one.
You are the chosen one. Lord, if it be your will and if it be necessary, another election, another voting day.
False prophet. I prophesied that Donald Trump would be president, and then later on I prophesied that he would not be impeached, and in fact that he would win another term, and I was completely wrong. It doesn't make me a false prophet.
The Associated Press said that Joe Biden is president. Ha! Yeah. 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 Oh.
This Copeland clip is genuinely scary. I know people have been making fun of it, rightfully so. It is also silly, but it's also very scary. This is the scariest Emperor has no clothes shit ever. Like, he's wrong. Copeland is wrong. But his entire congregation is so wrapped up in his persona as this, you know, pastor. They laugh along with him. They do this weird, forced group laugh. It is so scary. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. Leftists like me already ripped the Democrats apart early on election night when it looked like they blew it against Trump. So when do Chuds accept reality and turn their anger on the GOP who couldn't even beat Joe Biden? That's the funniest thing to me. Again, I voted for Joe Biden, but I'm not like a Joe Biden fan. I'm a leftist, so I'm not the biggest fan of liberals or neoliberals or whatever you want to say, you know? Joe Biden. Way too milquetoast and centrist, and he's going to try and work with Republicans, which I think is a bad idea. Anyway, thank you for coming, evocative Kitsune. However, I do find it kind of satisfying that forever the Republicans and the MAGA people have to accept that they lost to Joe Biden, who isn't even a good candidate. Like, they lost. Trump is such a shit president that after 4 years, an incumbent president, and incumbents almost always win, lost to Joe Biden. That's pretty funny.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's gonna be president. Mickey Mouse is gonna be king. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
For I hear the sound of victory. 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 We break it. We override.
Pushing back, but I can't do this alone.
We're gonna see you working this. We are. We're gonna.
I am not going to abandon President Trump.
If you think that Trump's radical evangelical base is simply going away now that Biden won the election, then you don't realize just how widespread this religious insanity goes. I'll still be here in the Deep South pushing back, but I can't do this alone. I'm expanding Holy Kool-Aid and I just...
Okay. Never saw that channel before. Interesting. Alright, let's see who we're gonna raid. See who we're gonna raid. The Serfs.
XQC. This is for.
I think the Serfs are gonna play. Yeah, they're doing Among Us, or Lance is doing Among Us with AOC. Gotta raid that shit. So thanks everyone. I appreciate you coming to the stream. I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow. I'm doing, I'm going over to Jake's and doing some Friendsgiving. Yeah, that'll be a good time. I don't know if I'll be streaming. Maybe earlier in the day, but maybe not. If not, I'll be back Sunday to do maybe something, although maybe not. Sunday, I believe, is... No, Monday's the 30th. So, yeah, I'll be back Sunday to do something either way. So thanks, everyone, for coming to the stream. Chat is valid, as always. Give me a follow if you were here from the raid and you liked what you saw. I also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/HannahReloaded, so check that out, too. Have a good night, everyone, and enjoy the Among Us.
That's right, capitalistic propaganda.